All righty, yo. All right, this is gonna be weird. It's not starting off the way it usually does. So let's try to get this done. Whoa. Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You know how we get down. It is another Saturday, or we ain't gonna say what today is or whatever. But we are here to talk to you about everything cool and everything blurred and everything all that. And as I slowly wait for the computer to percolate and for all of everybody to get in place, I just want to say, yo, look, I'm in a different background. Isn't that weird? Like, yo, this is my actual little cave thing going on over here. So I just wanted to say what's going on. Big up to everybody who tunes in. I'm not gonna lie, I am hella nervous. I'm hella nervous about whether or not this whole platform thing is gonna work out right now. So let me go ahead and I don't know. Yeah, let me see if Yas is in here. Yas, are you even in here? Yas, is Yas here this morning? Where Yas is? Is the homie Yas? Where art thou, Yas? Is Yas here? What's going on, Yazzie?
What's up?
What's up, boo boo? Al, okay, let's go ahead and do it. You know what? Me and you, we don't need no Ty. All right,
No.
Ty who? You know what I'm saying? Look, it's team me and Yas. Let's go ahead and get it in. We ain't got time to sleep to wait for friends who sleep in. You know what I'm saying? Especially friends like Tommy ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? Sleeping in. You ain't got no real job, Tommy. I'm just playing. Let's go ahead and do this, man. I want to talk to you. Oh my God, yo, the WandaVision. Yo, the episode is completely ridiculous. I'm gonna go ahead and put on a little clip right now so I can get on. You just tell me what you thought about this part right here, because I thought that one of the dopest parts was when we finally get to meet, and we're gonna get into this a little more, the kids. But let me do this. Let me do this right here so I can go ahead and transfer to the other side. And you tell me what you thought about what this was going on, Miss Yazzie. I thought this was dope. All righty. Well, I guess you have no opinion.
My bad. I was watching the clip. Okay. So this week's show, it was pretty intense. I'm not gonna lie. Like hands down. I mean, from the neighbor Herb asking her if he wanted to do another take for her, to the whole the kids getting their powers. That was ultimately insane. And then we actually got to see the Scarlet Witch and Vision in their true original costumes, which was, oh my God, like so much paying homage. And on that note, actually, I wanted to show everybody what little nerd self got this past weekend. Let me just give you a little taste of my dope WandaVision picture I just picked up. I cannot wait to get this bad boy framed. So I have the original.
Whoa! Hold on, it's a family show. Damn it, motherfucker! What's wrong with you?
That's her original costume.
Oh, I was just playing. Yeah, show it. Now let me see. I wasn't finished. I mean, I hadn't finished looking.
Ooh, that's her costume. Hey. This is the original Scarlet Witch.
Yo, right. Hey, what's up, Scarlet? Ow. Okay.
I cannot wait to add this to my collection with all my other awesome stuff in my house. So
stop drooling, Kojo. Kojo was over there, and his hands went away for a few minutes. I don't know what exactly happened.
You set me up, man. Don't put it on me, man.
Nah, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't know, Mr. Kojo right here. You
all said, look at Kojo.
Bring that picture a little closer to the screen right quick is what it looked like. Kojo was over there.
Listen, when you guys, like, you see the kids having their chat with the teacher, and then the teacher all of a sudden clicks on the thing, and she's actually like looking at one of the kids and like puts them on the screen. Kojo, he just totally did that to you, bro. He just got you.
Yeah, Kojo, you guilty, homeboy. You guilty. Either way, man, let's go ahead and get this thing started right. Obviously, we are here with the lovely Yas the Model. Say what up, Yas.
Hi, guys.
And then we got Kojo over here, who is just happened to be here by default. What's going on, Kojo? And we even have some more folks. And of course, I am the real Vince Taylor. We're gonna go ahead and kick this thing off like we do every week. This is a great week for WandaVision. So why don't we start off with the Wanda list? All right, guys. I'm just gonna come out and say it. The episodes are getting better and better and better and better. They have clearly got the message and the memo that we are done with the I Love Lucy phase of WandaVision. We are completely now into Malcolm in the Middle of WandaVision. If you haven't, did you notice that we was basically Malcolm in the Middle? Like, first of all, let's get the two things out of the way that I think are the most significant this week. We not only got to see Quicksilver in action doing his thing, but we now get to see what these kids talking about. First of all, hold on. Let's go ahead and give everybody the official spoiler alert. Yes, if you have not watched the show yet, stop what you're doing, close your eyes, avert your view, whatever, because
shields up, ready.
We are going to talk about what happened on the show. It's been over 24 hours since 12:01 midnight. So don't be coming up in a group talking all that trash. Talking about we spoiling. All right, because we'll find you. We got your IP address. All right, we work close with the NSA. We know Space Force, motherfucker. All right, we'll come get your ass. And I just thought that this week, I think the most exciting thing for me, in addition to seeing Vision kind of get his mojo back and kind of be like, look, I'm defiant, was obviously these two who came out. We were introduced to the one and only Wiccan and Speed this week. I'm so geeked about the fact that this WandaVision universe has gone from Dick Van Dyke to exposing some of the dopest characters in the Avenger universe. I don't know about y'all, but I was geeked up when I saw them actually speeding through the neighborhood, when he started to gain his powers. It gave me like, vibes, because I think that these two kids are going to be in the Avengers movies as we progress. Like, we're seeing the foundation for Avengers upcoming sequels, because they have to recast everybody now that they're downgrading the Falcons and the Winter Soldiers and the WandaVision to TV. They've got to get that big screen popping too, right? Yas, am I tripping about that, or what you think?
No, you're so right. I think that, like, no lie, we've kind of slowly been building up to the things that we're seeing in WandaVision. And if you're really a true diehard fan, you've kind of been like seeing these things, like, and it's not just in some of the movies, but it's some of the older movies, like X-Men has dropped in, a couple of hints. I recently watched like the original X-Men, and like if you really look back at those movies and rewatch them, you'll see some hints that are in WandaVision that like they're kind of amazing. So I definitely think that they're opening this up to something beautifully awesome that we are not even like we're not ready yet. Like I cannot wait.
Kojo, what you think, bro?
I think Disney and Marvel lucked up with the pandemic, because the sheer fact that I think they were on this track anyway to kind of do the S.H.I.E.L.D. thing, kind of all wrap it. Remember when S.H.I.E.L.D. came out, it would tie into the movies?
Yeah.
And now, since the pandemic hit and the movie theaters were closed, they're like, wait a minute, we can still get this out. We just drill a little bit harder on the TV side. We can just shove them right into the movies, and everyone will follow from the TV straight into the theaters when it opens back up again.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
they play into their hands.
I agree with you, and I disagree with you at the same time.
Well, tell me why, sir.
Well, I think that you're right. Oh my God! Don't ever get that close to the camera again, please. I think that you're right that they did, quote unquote, luck up, but I also think that Marvel is unusually intellectually equipped with the capability of tapping into an issue when it's an issue, right? Like, so did they luck up? Maybe. But keep in mind, these shows were planned before 2020. You know what I'm saying?
They kind of like fell into it. Like, it's right.
they fell into it, but they also capitalized on it at the same time, right? So it's like they definitely get it. They knew that it was, because I mean, don't get it twisted. Now they did have some setbacks. Like Black Widow was been supposed to came out.
Yes, like, no, we how much money
it's not like they just, you know what? Say it again, Coach. I missed it.
Like, no, this ain't gonna be streaming shit. We put $1 million in this. We getting our fucking money. You gonna sit in the theater. You got some popcorn, some doo-doo, some juice, and you go back and get some hot dogs. We getting our money.
Yeah, exactly. All that. There you go, man. I gotta zoom out on Kojo because Kojo keep giving us the joy of it. I think that's the way that they planned it to be a streaming site. But where they lucked up was it that they actually happened to there was a pandemic. They lucked up because Disney Plus had such success with Mandalorian that it drew so many more people in. That it made it so that it was easily convenient because like Yas, our group extraordinaire who keeps everybody thoroughly entertained with all of the memes and all of the posts, she posted something on there that was so relevant. It said something like oh, Mandalorian, I want Baby Yoda, and then it was like whoa, third wall broken. Hello, who was that, Vince? Why did you
you're a twin?
Yeah, hey, look, my bad. That was the Pietro from Avengers, not X-Men. My bad. Yeah, man, it was so weird because I have been feeling Mandalorian withdrawal. I'm having baby Yoda withdrawal, right?
Look, my shirt. Look, I had to make this shirt yesterday because I just hold on. Let me get up so you can see it.
Wow, yo, all right, yeah.
I had to make this shirt yesterday because I've been in my feels about Mandalorian. I'm like, dang, I'm kind of like really missing Baby Yoda right now. Like, damn.
You made that shirt? You made that with your bare hands?
Yes, I made this with my bare hands.
Utilize your skills.
Well, one time for you, where my lollipops at, man? Get this girl. This young lady a lollipop. Let me go ahead and welcome to the platform somebody who's new with this, man. This young lady who I happened to meet, and I thought that was extremely let's just say outspoken when it comes to her opinions. Welcome, Patrice, everybody, to the platform. Let's give a little round of applause here. What's going on, Patrice? Patrice is a self-identified Blerd as well, if I'm not mistaken, who is not only into the geek universe as it pertains to Marvel, Star Wars, but anime as well. Hallelujah. How are you doing this morning, Patrice? Hey, and strike one. All right, you got one more. Take it off mute.
Yeah, one more. Oh, the button.
That part.
I'm like, what's he talking about? How I got a strike already?
Nah, that's all good. We only give one strike, so bye. We gotta go. Now just playing.
Okay, sorry, let me just. It's good news, y'all.
We were just playing. We didn't mean it. How's it going? So, Patrice, real quick, just to kind of skip right into the meat and potatoes of the showtime. Did you happen to watch WandaVision? Are you up on WandaVision? Is that a thing that you're into?
I did. I caught up. Okay. Ain't gonna lie. I was skeptical about watching because I heard that show was trash. But it is getting better. I will agree with your sentiment. It is getting better.
Oh, wow.
Patrice, can we just circle back? Who told you it was trash?
One of my coworkers who's also into anime and Marvel. He has his own little nerd group on Facebook. And he was like, yeah.
It don't compare to ours, though. We got the best nerd group.
I mean can't compete.
And I say that man lied to you, madam.
So real quick, Patrice, like, where are you right now? Are you caught up? Are you still getting caught up? Or
I am caught up. Caught
up. So you saw last night's you saw yesterday's release?
Yeah.
You have any thoughts about the episode?
I really just want to know what Hayward is up to. That's my biggest thing. Like, it was just like really weird that he's just intent on just murdering her with no consequence to everybody around. Like, what the heck?
So can I just interject on that thought that you have, Patrice, really quickly?
Please.
So no lie, I was literally just thinking about like something crazy. And the other day when I was like, thinking about Hayward himself, and I was like, man, Hayward is like, I feel like he's kind of like an enemy that we haven't seen before. You know what I mean? And I'm like really looking into this, and I'm like, man, Hayward is. We do know there's multiple bad guys in WandaVision, and we just don't know who they are just yet, right? And I feel like Hayward could possibly be like Ultron.
Yeah, and it's weird because even the way he intros Wanda when he's talking to them about who she is, like he downplays her Hydra whole thing, like, oh, she was radicalized and then volunteered to Hydra, and then he calls her outright terrorist. So it's like,
and then he's like asking, you're so right. Then he asks, you know, is she? And I think he like his way of, you know, like how stern he's been with, you know, like everybody introducing, you know, Wanda and how he feels that she's a terrorist, you know, to everybody in the town. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he has a lot of Ultron vibes, and, you know, like he's bringing out. And like, if you think about it, like the way she looks at him, you know, and the certain things she says and how she says them to him, like, I feel like she can see past, you know, because Vision obviously, you know, has this, you know, charade going on, and so does Pietro. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't Hayward have the same thing? You know what I'm saying? Like on the outside of, you know, like, because, you know, he's a computer.
Yeah. Even her reaction to him is stronger. So like, if you think about who
look at it, yes, you're so correct. It's kind of crazy. I feel like he's definitely. I feel like he's going to be a bad guy. He's going to be like the Ultron coming back, and that's why he needs. Because if you think about it, he did stay. And he pointed out later that she stole the body from the organization that was holding Vision's body, and they were experimenting on it. Did he not say that Vision's wishes were not to be resurrected because he didn't want to be a weapon? And yet they were experimenting on his body, and that's why she stole it.
Yeah, all of that seems really suspect. So it's like, did she even escape without any type of tampering? Like, this could all be a giant experiment, to be honest.
Right. And we only saw like a security screen of that. We didn't really see that happening. We only saw video of what they showed us from their records. You know what I'm saying? So it's also been altered. Like I said, Ultron is a computer, so he can, you know, also alter things and fabricate things to make us see them differently. You know what I'm saying? So, and another thing is also like, I feel like if he's not Ultron, he could possibly be like working for Stryker.
Ooh, that's different.
Did that just blow your mind? Because remember, Stryker was really like he had a lot of mutants that we didn't really like. That's why I was like going back to X-Men 2 thing, because he had a lot of mutants. Like, I'm being so serious. Like, I feel like everybody, you need to go back and watch the like OG original X-Men. They're on Disney Plus. You have the subscription already. Watch it and really pay attention to like the little details on the computer screens, the names. You know what I'm saying? Like, really pay attention, because I feel like a lot of people are missing things. And they're showing them to us, and we're all like, "Oh my god, so awesome!" But people who really are like really diehard fans, they're seeing this slowly, just like beautifully open up. And like, I'm not gonna lie, hands off to the writers, like really, because it's amazing how they're all bringing this together. You guys really have to like check that out. So I feel like maybe if Hayward is not Ultron, he works for Stryker, and he's trying to get Wanda back.
Oof, that would be tough. That would be crazy.
Well, I mean, is Stryker even in this universe? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't even know. Am I lagging already? Am I doing the Yaga thing? I'm lagging, ain't I? I'm not like, okay, good. I don't even know if Stryker is really like. Well, first of all, what we are seeing is the merging of so many different Marvel cultures, right? Like, we've got the X-Men, we've got the X-Men of the Avengers universe. Versus the X-Men in the X-Men universe, you know, pre the merger of Sony and Marvel Studios. And we're also seeing from Thor, we've got Darcy and them and Jimmy Woo from Ant-Man, and now we've got them into this universe. And not to mention, we've got this theory that everybody keeps castigating, that there's a possibility that Mephisto, at first we thought that Mephisto may have been Pietro, but as of right now, I don't know if that's the case. In fact, it's starting to feel like that's definitely not the case. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if Wanda can just manifest people with her mind, she made her kids out of magic. Hallelujah. Right. Take that, Jesus. All right. You know what I'm saying? You make water into wine, but I can make kids out of thin air. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I shouldn't say that. You know, these are bad jokes, God. You know how I get down. You know, I don't want no problems. But I thought that's crazy. Now, I'm not going to lie. This isn't the way that I planned this portion of the show. I actually had a different set of plans for the way this was going to go. But just seeing, as I just learned, that one of our guests, special guests, is actually up on the WandaVision, I think it's only proper that I bring him in right now. I wanted to bring him in on a proper introduction. This is a guy that I've known for quite a while, but has skyrocketed into fame via the Hollywood actor circuit. And he does all kind of acting, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I have a pleasure to introduce y'all. And we're gonna talk to him a little bit about what it's like to be a big name actor in the comedic scene, in the action scene, all of that good stuff. One of the favorite scenes I've seen him do that makes him appropriately picked for this particular podcast is this one right here.
Hey, we have a medium latte with extra whip. That will be $4.39. Oh, hey, would you like to donate $1 to St. Jude's Hospital for cancer research?
No, I'm okay, thank you.
Are you sure? It's just $1 and it's for children with cancer.
I'll donate.
What about the victims of the hurricane in Jamaica?
Was there one?
That $20 right there would buy one of those children a new scooter.
I don't have a scooter.
Neither do they.
Wow, yeah, you guys are really dedicated to your community.
Just a few more. Citizens with tailbone injuries against the phrase butt hurt?
No.
The Alliance to get Captain Marvel a higher score on Rotten Tomatoes?
It was just okay.
It ties together the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's got Marvel right in the name.
Come on, man. Come on. What more can you say about a dude that brings Marvel? I got a feeling he wrote that line. So we're just going to have to get him in. Hey, y'all, I need y'all to welcome to the platform the new Blerd or the episode 8. Help me clap in Mr. D. Russo. What's going on, OG Pimpin'? I see you still eating.
I 100% improv that line.
Did you for real?
Yeah, 100%. It was just to get the Captain Marvel a higher Rotten Tomato score, and I improv the rest of it. Yeah.
So I mean, like, what project was that? Like, I mean, first of all, big up to you for. I mean, I don't even want to stop. First of all, before we even start, D. Russo, guys, has climbed from being on campus at Florida A&M University. Hallelujah! Give that man his HBCU creds. Yes.
I just want to point out for the record, I am the only Italian that's ever played football at FAMU, and I will be the only Italian that ever played football at FAMU, because if they recruit another one, I will cut his head off with a sword, Highlander style, because there can be only one.
Come on, man. Why you gotta cut people all the time, man? This dude, he stayed cutting people. Came from FAMU, came down Orlando, got his comedic circuit. I mean, got his comedy career started. Took off with that, went right into the actor circuit where he started making his name for himself. I think one of the first projects he had was his project. I think I have it in here. Nope, I didn't put it in here. The Evil Dead, Ash vs. Evil Dead. For anybody who pays, who follows that.
Oh my God.
Extremely good show. You might not recognize him because he doesn't have all of his
my Lobo makeup, my 4 hours of Lobo makeup.
Yeah, that Lobo. Yo, he plays Lobo. I don't have those clips, but I do have some.
You don't have those clips on YouTube.
Yeah, they're on YouTube. Y'all can Google that. Just go ahead and hit
the same channel as I got 2 videos of me being Jason Voorhees on the same channel.
Oh my God, yo! Hopefully, D. Russo, man, I'm hoping that this isn't the last time you join us, man, because there's so many different projects we want to talk to you about. But real quick though, man, Kojo wanted to ask you a couple questions, but I just want to see how you doing, man. How's everything going in Hollywood, man? How are you feeling? Are you Rona free? Are you Rona safe? Are you out there? You masked up? You vaccinated? What's going on?
I stay home all the time. I have not caught corona obviously I stay home all the time. I don't get my hair cut, except like in the last year, I've only gotten haircuts from production. So like I've only worked on 2 shows. It's just broke out and I'm like, hurry up and book me on something so I can get a haircut. I stay in a mask all the time. I give dirty looks. Like I was in line to the store. I'll go out like once a week, and some dude had his mask pulled down while he was in line in front of me scrolling his phone. And I just looked at him like, you can't fucking read your phone with a mask on? Yeah. Oh, as far as vaccinated, I actually don't know. I volunteered for the human trials for the Janssen vaccine. So the 50-50 chance I've gotten my first shot of the vaccine, and there's a 50-50 chance that I just got a placebo. But when I looked at the opportunity to do that, I was like, well, here's another chance for me to use my many privileges for the benefits of those without. So sign me up.
See, what y'all didn't know is that Russo is hella woke. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't go to FAMU and leave without being woke anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's mandatory. Like, they beat it into you. It's a part of the hazing process.
Honestly, that's not far from the truth, really. Like, there was one particular class I took in college that really honed what I already had inside me. Like, I already had this really weird desire to know things I'm not supposed to know. And to like see the bigger picture. And there was a class that I took while I was there that like laser focused that shit. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right.
And people like now, like, why are you always talking about racism? Because it's fucking everywhere. That's why. It's constant. It's everywhere. It's all the time. It's everything. Why is it always got to be about race? Because it is.
Thank you. Patrice, would you agree?
Serious. It really is. I mean, this is a daily conversation. What?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's just how it is. Just in case you haven't been familiar. Well, now I don't know if you guys. Now, Yas, there used to be Yas is our young buck, Russo. So, Yas, there used to be this movie called Karate Kid, right? Like back in what we call the 80s. Okay, and there was this guy
down in my knowledge right now.
There was this guy named Daniel LaRusso. Okay, and he was like the idol of everybody. And we thought that it was pretty cool when I looked up. And I saw that Daniel LaRusso and my homeboy D Russo were actually in the same frame. I thought.
Leaving already?
Okay, guys, let's talk about this, all right? You know, you can keep the van. We just want to know what happened to the kid who had it, and then we'll be on our way.
On your way to call the cops, like you said.
No cops, all right? We can work this out.
Or not.
So there you see one D Russo taking on Mr. Daniel LaRusso. It's so funny because like his name ain't even Russo in real life. Like Russo is an actual Russo.
Yeah.
He's fighting a dude named Ralph Macchio. Now they're both Italian. Did y'all like interact? Like, what's that like, bro? Like,
oh yeah, no. Literally, when I met Ralph, the first thing I told him, I was like, look, I got to get this out of here, like right now. Like, I was like, do you understand how much shit I got when I was a kid and your movie came out and my father's name is Daniel Russo and my grandfather's name is Daniel Russo? And he just started laughing. I'm like, yeah, in New York, no less, where motherfuckers get roasted.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. You're my hood.
Yeah. Yo, so what did he say, bro? What did he say?
No, he just laughed about it, and I was like, "I'm gonna throw you through these tires." No, I didn't. Because like Ralph's a smaller dude, and he had a messed up rotator cuff. So like when I scooped him up later on in the fight scene and like throw him in the tires, I picked him up like a baby, like I cradled his head and I like set him down in front of the tires. And then when it was Marco, his stunt double, I was like, "Hadouken!"
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
He just compared picking up Daniel Russo, the actor, as like, when you're tossing little kids in the pool, and you're gentle.
That's what it looks like. I mean, he's freaking
so great.
He's picking him up like he's a freaking like he's one of the Legos, you know what I'm saying, and just throwing him out the windows like everything is also with his ass, and that's just one thing. And there's also I mean, because he actually ended up being like the main character of that scene. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like the final boss of that scene.
Yeah, he's like King Koopa in the Karate Kill, where he comes out, and then I mean it doesn't stop there. I mean, listen, let's not limit my man Russo to just being in a scene of Karate Kid or Cobra Kai. My man has acted with some very, very highly acclaimed actors. I mean, here's a scene with him and somebody you might recognize.
Work a lot better if you get that damn phone out of your hand.
Ask for your fucking advice, Grandpa? Past your fucking bedtime anyway.
That's awesome.
I improv the bedtime line, and when we did it, the script supervisor, she comes over to me. She's like, "Oh my God, I love that so much."
Good shit.
That's super awesome.
Did they lose everybody?
I think we lost Vince.
We lost Vince?
We lost Vince.
No,
right,
I'm here. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, that's two of them.
I apologize. I do come in and out, and then I have my evil twin who tries to match me. So let me scoot him out of here, man. You know I have a doppelganger. But yeah, man, it's crazy because I didn't realize that this scene involves you and Clint in the same vicinity at the same time. Like when you get those scripts and you see that it's you, because you obviously know in advance when you get booked for it that this is about to happen. Like, do you lose your mind? Are you like telling everybody like, yo, I'm about to be in a screen with Clint? Well, I mean, how does that happen?
It depends on what it is, like whether you know it or not. So like this one, yeah, I knew it in advance and I had the script, but like Jumanji, they didn't give me the script until the night before, and only like the page or the pages that I'd be working on that day, and then I'd have to give it back to them at the end of the day. Marvel was even harder to get the script up, and the only reason I got part of it is because I speak in a foreign language at one point.
Marvel,
yeah.
Marvel.
What say you, sir?
First of all, you already know that, and the only reason I'm allowed to talk about it is because I'm in the trailer for Loki twice.
Yo, okay, that's me. I didn't know how much we could discuss. I didn't know if that was like, backroom.
You
trying to avoid that combo
now.
But we are looking at Marvel royalty. Go ahead, Kojo.
You understand, people, that Vince Taylor has a celebrity on his show. Pay homage and bow down. I shall leave thee until you understand what project you are fucking with. Hail down to Vince Taylor.
It's the homie D-Root.
Kojo's gonna go grab a microphone from his other room just so he can drop it on camera.
He's such an idiot, yo. All right, I'm so glad that you brought up Loki, man, because we want to get it. I mean, whatever it is that you were in. I mean, Loki. Yeah, you said Loki already. Okay, cool. Had to make sure. But before we even get that, I was trying to work up to that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, welcome back, Kojo. Welcome back. And I see Ty's in the background.
To answer the question, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Ty finally joining us?
Should we even let Ty in here? Yes. I'll leave it up to you.
30 minutes late.
Should we let him in? Yes, I'll leave it up to you. What's the
timestamp on a nigga?
Late.
He got fired on his day off.
40 minutes.
Pretty much he's dark skinned.
He fired on his day off. Yo, Russo says not to let him in. I don't know.
He was to work one day and he didn't even show up. He showed 30 minutes.
Right, he had one job, bro.
Can't even show up on time. I was early.
You know what? You know who I think we should leave it up to? The guy who was late last week, Kojo. Should we?
Oh,
that's wrong. He can't ask a dark skinned dude. Dark skinned dudes ain't got no, we ain't around here. This is a light skinned world right here.
My boy like that, man.
Hello.
I can't do my boy like that, man. I gotta let my man listen. Everybody needs a chance to, just kind of get things right, get things wrong. But what the fuck? Ty, what the fuck is going on, bro? It's like a hella important show. Your ass is sleeping in, man. What the fuck, bro? Like, for real, what's happening?
Look, I could have came out here looking like Gargamel, and it would have been no problem. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted. I mean, I did oversleep. That's my bad. My phone died. That's my alarm. But it is what it is. I'm here.
It is what it is.
You don't still look like Gargamel. Is this supposed to be nice? You look like a Rastafarian Gargamel.
That's right, man. I took it out of the country, man. I figured, if I'm too late, I might as well have a real excuse of where I've been. So, I went to Jamaica real quick.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. What, you just flew in from Barbados?
Nah. I don't fly, nigga. Nah. I got some Tony Stark tech, nigga. I just teleport. I don't know what y'all doing, but I'm over here teleporting. So
well, since you looked to the game, man, we were just going over the accomplishments of my homeboy, the big, the bad, the one and only Lobo, DJ D Russo, who has been doing so many projects. The one I was about to talk about next, we just saw him in a clip with Clint Eastwood, but that's not the only guy that he likes to hang out in hotel rooms with. Here's this guy right here.
What the fuck you doing? Fuck, I thought this was my room. Yeah? Well, it's not. Wake the fuck up, asshole.
Oh, fuck you, bro.
What you say to me?
I said, fuck you.
Bradley Cooper.
How the hell did he take that big ass down?
Because that was, the most.
That was dope.
Every time I lose a fight on film, people are like, how you gonna let so-and-so beat you up?
Whoa, we're waiting. What's the answer? Like, what the fuck? Like, how do you gotta protest that? You be like, listen, I'm a fan of you, bro. I don't mess around with getting beat by dudes who ride the train by themselves and sip lattes. But it is happening. What movie? I was able to Google what movie is that again?
The Mule.
That was
a great movie, by the way. Great movie.
Mule is crazy. But yo, this dude, as you see, man, is no stranger to the big screen of big. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little slightly disappointed, but still overwhelmingly geeked up when I saw that he had gotten into the DC universe.
I want my lawyer. You don't get one. You've been classified a clear and present metahuman threat to national security. The pit is a black site which exists on no map and from which there is no escape. In other words, abandon all hope of the life you knew before. Now, there's just the pit.
Bruh.
Russo was in Black Lightning?
So,
I watched Black Lightning.
I have no idea how this makes me happy.
So talk to us about your experience on the set of Black Lightning, bro. Like, what's that like? Do you get to meet the main characters? Are you? What's up?
Well, they brought me back the next season. I did a scene with Cress in the same location in the second season, but we shot it 2 ways, one with me and one without me, and they went with the way without me. So I got to spend time with him. He's cool. Marvin's a dope ass human, like for real. It's funny because the first day I came into work, the set piece wasn't really ready yet. So we basically like didn't do anything. And as he walks out at the end of the day, like he looks at my shirt, which is part of my collection.
Right.
And when I say collection, I mean like 30 deep. Like I'm a walking billboard for this.
Yes.
And he gets his look on his face like, huh. And then the next day when we got a lot of downtime, we just spent like a couple hours literally like outside our dressing rooms, just like talking. Like he's a dope ass human.
That's cool.
Cress is a cool ass dude. Celine, the creator director, like everybody's mad cool. It's really cool. I was joking around because when I went to the rap party last year, I went over to the stunt coordinator who I work with on Jumanji. He's one of the main characters I work with on Jumanji for like the whole 5.5 weeks I was there. And I was like, y'all were supposed to fucking bring me back because when Tobias comes out of that collar, he's supposed to fuck me up. And he's like, we'll still bring you back. Celine's like, well, we can still bring you back. I was like, all right,
So you're still in the DC universe, guys.
Did D just say did D Russo just say he Devo the director? Did he just Devo the director? Like y'all said y'all was gonna bring me back. They was like, all right, don't bring me back, D. All right, don't bring me back. We gonna bring you back.
This is my show, punk.
What would you do? All right, so you tell me what you gonna do if this guy shows up at your door, you know what I'm saying, and says, yo, listen, so you gonna have me back, right? You're like,
well, no, bitch, get it right though. Get it right though. He only looks like that guy when production gets his haircut. He looks like that guy. On the normal. Okay, so that guy is gonna show up at your house with the lumberjack beard and looking at you,
spilling out of my mask, which is like my Bane mask.
Face. Yes, exactly that. Out. He's gonna be like his arms,
what the Russo was cooking.
Can I ask you a question, D? Can I ask you a question? I mean, I guess I'm about to look at you like this, you know. But
here you go. He thinks it's Hollywood Squares, D. Russo. He thinks he can
do that to you too. He was like,
So how would someone get started? I've watched you progress from like the comedic world, then you just kind of disappeared. You popped up on movies, and you don't understand how happy I am for you because again, I remember the post of people talking shit to you in Orlando, and I remember you kept saying it doesn't mean nothing. I'm still gonna get where I want to go, and you are. But how does it? If someone said, "Yo, I want to be where he is right now," how would someone do that? What would be like a step to take to get there?
First of all, they're still talking shit. Don't think they.
You're not damn right, yo.
Just because somebody would smile in my face and talk mad shit behind my back, like don't think Carmen Valone isn't still fucking hating on me behind the scenes.
What's up, Carmen?
Yeah.
Carmen's my but come on, Carmen.
That shit's still happening. Don't worry about that. Plus, he's fucking MAGA. So.
Oh God! Don't even start. Don't even get me started.
Like not only is he two-faced, he's a racist piece of shit.
Yeah, don't get me started. I don't know.
I mean. There's no path. So my path was just how it worked out. There isn't really a path other than just start doing it. Mine was weird because like I was doing stand-up. I realized I could advance my stand-up career more by acting than I could by doing stand-up, which is just indicative of the society that we live in. Like almost every comedian has to be sold based on their TV credits. The audience has to be reassured, as seen on Last Comic Standing. Like you didn't watch Last Comic Standing, neither did I, but the audience wants to be reassured this person's been on TV or in movies so that they'll spend their little bit of money to go see a comedy show when they're going to laugh more at a comedy show than they will in a sitcom or a comedy movie.
That's crazy.
So I was like, I got to start acting. So like there's this, the first thing I ever did was this web series, with a couple of comedians in South Florida. John Wynn came up with this thing, and I did what was supposed to be a non-speaking role, and they let me have one line. And then I did like a pitch for a reality show pilot. And when I was on that, I met this dude. He's like, hey, you have an agent? And I was like, no, I don't have an agent. He's like, I'm going to introduce you to my agent. So he introduced me to his agent, and the agent's like, yeah, I want to sign you. I was like, all right, cool. And then the very first audition I went on, I booked. And the only reason I did that is because I sat outside the room while I'm waiting for the other guys to go in. And I heard what the casting director was telling them that she wanted. And I just did that.
Well, but I mean, like, talk to the folks out there who are discouraged because the first time they take an audition and don't get it, they automatically are like, see, they don't want, like, people don't understand. Like, as a comedian, we get it because when we go on stage, we know that there's things that we're going to say that we think are hilarious that the crowd disagrees. You know what I'm saying? So
all right. So imagine the first like few hundred jokes you tell on stage get no laughs.
Yes,
that's auditioning.
Yeah,
like there's so much rejection, and people are like, how do you handle all that rejection? And my response is like, I'm a dude. I've been getting rejected on a regular basis since I was like 13 years old.
Which is hard.
I honestly don't like if you're not equipped to just handle constant rejection, then don't do this shit.
Yeah, man.
And this isn't even like in your face rejection. This is just you apply for a job, you put it out there, and then there's nothing.
Literally.
Yeah, man.
There's nothing. So like I got an email last night checking my availability for a TV show, and that was the first response I've gotten back. And there's been half a dozen or a dozen auditions I've sent off in the last couple of months, and I'm like, I'm fucking perfect for that, and nothing. There's just nope.
And you know how you feel, man. I got a friend of mine who was so upset. He was black as hell. Black as hell, and he was heartbroken because he didn't get this role. True story. I said, yo, what role you didn't get? I said, Planet of the Apes. I'm like, motherfucker, I understand.
Oh no, that's a little.
He could have done it with no makeup. He could have saved money on this motherfucker. He said, I didn't get the role. I'm like, damn. I'm sorry. If you don't get a role that's made for you, then quit.
I feel like Kojo's workshopping material right now.
Yeah.
He's running his bit. It's cool. I mean,
that's what we love about it, man. Right. Kojo, you could have got that part too, homeboy.
Realistically, the thing that made the biggest difference for me, like obviously looking the way I do and being the size that I am, puts me in a select category of appeal on camera.
Right.
Like there's always going to be a need for big, scary looking dudes, especially big, scary looking dudes who can play white, which obviously I can. But there's not really a lot of skill involved. There's really nothing to it. I just like put on an angry face and like I'm done. But in terms of like actual acting, what made the difference is not just getting training, but getting the training that I finally got into. So in April of 2017, I met my current and forever acting coach, Sarah Mornell, at a little workshop for actors, and trained under her nonstop from before. Like every single thing you see on my reel that you've been playing is the result of her training. Oh, wow. Everything that you've been seeing me book since then is a result of her training. Like there's nothing on my reel from before the fall of 2017. There's nothing, because I was so much worse. Like I did some things before that, and some of it turned out pretty decent, and I booked a lot of things, but none of it was good. Like the reason I'm a full-time working actor broadcasting from the house that I own is because of that training.
Wow. Yeah. And y'all seen him sprinkle that little ownership bid in there, right? How to be a one time for equity. in 2021. Yo, I'm really interested, man, when it comes to acting, when you act in roles, DeRusso, that you're conflicted with, because we're looking at the shirt that you're wearing. I know that you bleed orange and green, man. We both are FAMU, and we both strike. So when you have roles that you play guys that you're like, man, I completely disagree with that. Like for this, for example.
What we gonna do, Jimmy?
We're gonna take our goddamn country back.
Now look, these niggas give up, you let me handle it, you hear? You're civilians, don't you forget that. The law run this town, and nobody else. Fire! You niggas done lost your goddamn minds! Form skirmish order. Put your goddamn guns down, we'll let you live, you hear? Boss it! Boy, I showed you some respect, you showed me something else. Take aim! Damn it, it's the law! Fire!
So you niggas done lost your goddamn minds.
No lie. I really liked how you were talking all that shit, and then you walked out, and your whole people just died, and you start running. That shit was funny. That was my favorite part of it. Like, no lie, that was like the best. Like,
yeah.
Yo, well, first of all, I want to hear what it's like to see that on your script and realize, like, yo, I had this, because I've always wondered, like, when I see people playing roles like this, sometimes you are unable to escape that image when you see them elsewhere. Like, I still sometimes when I see what's that dude? The people from Mississippi Burning. You know what I'm saying? And like the villains.
You're talking about James Woods? No, he's really like that. No, James Woods is really a piece of shit. Yeah, he's playing himself. Yeah, like who he plays at Casino, like that's him. He's a fucking slimy, disgusting, borderline pedophile, racist motherfucker.
Wow. Well, let it be known. James Woods, if you're watching, and we will never have you on the show. But yeah, I mean, like, how do you do that? How do you balance? Like, I would be conflicted. How do you know when to say no? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, nah, man, I'm not saying that. Or do you just say, look, it's a check. I gotta move up. This is just the way it is. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio played, a racist guy too. So it's not like it's completely unheard of.
It's funny that you bring him up. I was going to bring him up. There's a story that they said from on the set of Django. Like one day, like Leonardo, he's like, I can't do this. And Sam Jackson looked at him and he's like, motherfucker, this is just another Tuesday for us.
It would be Samuel to get you together.
Oh my God.
And like I met Sam Jackson, like he's just like that. But yes, there are things that I would just say no to. Like if we get to talk about it later on, when Gina Carano goes to do Mandalorian with Ben Shapiro, like I finally found something I absolutely will not audition for, will not work on. Fuck that, whatever it is.
Right.
When I got this audition, I remember looking at it, and I play Evans, and I'm based on a real person, and I just remember thinking, holy shit, I'm glad I'm not reading for Cross. Cross is the other dude on the horse. He's the other cop in the movie. Now, the movie just got nominated, the 24th, just got nominated for an NAACP Image Award, which is really, really cool.
Nice.
For those who don't know, a brief overview, the 24th is about the 24th Regiment, which in World War I, when the U.S. entered World War I, was put on a train from New Mexico where they were stationed, brought to Houston to build a training camp for the white soldiers to train in so the white soldiers could go to France and fight. And the people of Houston freaked out. They're like, we don't want black people in this town. We certainly don't want black people with weapons in this town. And they're like, no, don't worry. It's fine. They're going to be in a camp 3 miles outside of town. They're going to have their own bar. They won't even need to come into town. They'll only carry weapons when they're on duty, like all these things to assuage the scared racists in town. And as soon as they got there, they went head to head with Jim Crow, and the soldiers who were from the South knew what to expect. The soldiers who weren't from the South thought that they were going to be treated with respect because they're soldiers. And it took 28 days, 4 weeks to the day from the moment they arrived in Houston until they grabbed rifles and went out to hunt white people. And it is the only so-called race riot, and it's only called a race riot because white people write the history.
Right.
If the only so-called race riot where more white people than black people were killed in the entire history of the United States.
Yeah.
Wow.
But at least you didn't have the worst part. I mean,
and Dudu plays Cross. Kyle Corbin is a really good dude, and he's like, I just felt like shit. And I looked at it and I said, there was never a consideration not to do it. I've been so badly wanting Black stories, not just to be told, but to be told authentically.
Right.
I wanted desperately to be part of telling these stories. I still do. I still want to tell these stories, and I want to do it as authentically as possible, which means this is who I have to be.
Yep.
This is who I have to portray. Like, I'm unlikely to portray anyone except who I was in this. So when we're telling Black stories, I'm almost definitely going to be a racist. So when I auditioned for Son of the South, it was for a racist. When I was almost in Harriet, I would have been a racist. I was almost in Emperor, I would have been a racist. In this, I am a racist. And the deal that I cut is the first time I talked to costumes, I said, I don't care how you do it, but I'm wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt under my uniform every day that I'm shooting for 2 weeks. It's your job to cover it up. Now, the uniforms were already up here, so they didn't have to do anything differently. But I wore a different shirt every single day because I'm still me.
Right.
I want to tell the story. I want to tell it to the best of my ability, but I am still me.
That's awesome.
I have a question. So when it comes to that goal of working with people and telling Black stories, do you have like a short list of directors or writers that you're like, oh, I want to work with them?
Ava DuVernay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Like I tweeted like last year or something. I was like, she's on my bucket list of directors to work with. And she liked it. And I was like, oh.
That's so lit. I love Ava.
Yeah.
Ava's good. Yeah. Because, Ava's got, I think, a series coming out. It may be on Disney Plus.
CW Naomi.
Yeah, Naomi. And
I helped a friend of mine tape an audition for it last night.
Oh shit! Look at my man. Yeah. He's all over the place, man. And I don't know if y'all saw it, if you caught it, but in there was a little glimpse of my man DEREK Russo, who some would say kind of embodies the Rock type body, playing in a scene along with the Rock as well. If you all have seen Jumanji, check him out.
The jewel in darkness, hidden from the sun.
The key. It's gone. Thief!
Oh my! Did he just?
What's that like? Is the Rock an asshole?
No. But he is massive. And that's me saying that.
Dude, have you seen his cheat days? Have you seen his cheat days?
Pounds, and this dude is mad. He's only like an inch and a half taller than me. Rory's actually taller than him.
Bro,
but
his cheat days are meals. His cheat days are literally, you could eat that all in one day, and it's just one meal. It's his cheat meal, bro.
Yeah, I only talked to him one time. When it was the day we shot that, it was like, hey, how you doing? Shook his hand a little bit. I talked to his brother-in-law way more than that. Like I hung out with Jack a lot.
I was going to say Jack is that person.
Yeah, no, dude, Jack is exactly who you like. If you watch his Instagram videos, he's exactly who you think
Jack. I love him. Ever since I was a kid, I've always loved Jack Black. Oh my God, he's the fucking man. He's the GOAT. No lie.
Awkwafina's awesome. Karen's awesome. Rory's awesome. Like Rory and I were together the most because I go everywhere he goes.
That's
awesome. The reason why I worked as much as I was originally only supposed to work for 9 days. And then I told him, I was like, hey, so I'm his right-hand man. Everywhere he goes, I go. And they're like, yeah, it's 5.5 weeks of work.
Well, I mean, without being insulting, don't take this the question the wrong way, but how do you land that part? I mean, I know you're qualified, but like, is that like inside baseball? Is that like my agent knows the director type, or is that like I just got to audition for it type thing?
Right.
So I auditioned for a different role. And it's funny because it was one of the rare in-person auditions I've done in Atlanta. All the auditions are done on tape, which makes it even harder with the rejection because you get no feedback at all. Like an in-person audition, you see how they react to your performance, and even if you don't get the part, you like, oh, I know they liked it. So I auditioned for a different role. I auditioned for Jurgen's Ranger, which was 45th on the call sheet out of 228 names on the call sheet. What they gave me was the Keymaster, which was 50th on the call sheet, which wound up 22nd in the credits. Jurgen's Ranger, the role I auditioned for, worked for 2 days. And I think he got his lines got cut. And I worked for 5.5 weeks. So I'm super happy with how it worked out. Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's what it is, man. So is that a 1 day shoot? And granted, DEREK, so I know that these are mogul questions, it's like I know, like, just in the world of comedy, like, it's like, well, how do you be so funny? You know, how do you get the? We're like, man, if you don't if you don't just come to the show. I know that these questions kind of like, yo, dude, these are like regular actor stuff. But like, is this a one-day shoot? Does everybody geek because they're in the room with The Rock? I've never been in the room with The Rock. Jack Black, Kevin Hart. Like, what's that? I mean, are people like trying to take selfies with him? I mean, what's it like being on set with this dude? You know what I'm saying? When this happens.
I mean, well, for this one especially, there was like in some points there was like 150 extras, but there was a group of core extras that was like 30 deep, maybe more, 30, 40 deep. That were working as much as I was, but they were working for the extra rate and like spend all these long hours and sitting on way less comfortable chairs and everything like that. Like, it's known you can't just like walk up to actors and ask them to take pictures with them. Otherwise, people probably would. And I worked with Kevin before. I worked with him on Ride Along 2 when I was an extra. Wow. And it's funny to see like the change in his behavior from like 2015 to now. It's like 2015 in between takes, like he was on like all the time, like shooting little skits. Him and Ice Cube were shooting little skits, little comedy skits and everything. And now like you call cut, he pulls out both of his phones immediately out of his phone, both of his phones, type. Rolling, camera's rolling. Type. You ready, Kev? Yeah, all right. Puts his phone away.
Oh,
yeah, like he's so busy. He's always on his phone.
So I have a quick question.
Go ahead. Of course, yes.
All right. So, Mr. Russo.
Yeah.
If you're just like a nobody, you know, not an actor or anything like that, like how would you even jump into like being an actor though? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are those steps that you take to get to where you are? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like a lot of people probably have this question as well as I. You know what I mean? Because like at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's an aspiration of yours and you've always wanted to do it, you know, and you don't know how, like how would you get into that?
I would say, well, first of all, it's the same as for anything. Like just start. Like people are like, how do I start doing stand-up? You go to an open mic.
Yeah,
it's different because it's like an open mic.
It's a little different because like you don't know really like, okay, so
right.
Let me rephrase the question. All right. So I model. Okay. In my free time. And I've always wanted to do acting, but it's just like, you know, it's a different market that I haven't tried yet. So how would I get into it? You know what I'm saying? I don't know where to go to get, you know, casting calls or anything like that. So
right.
How would we get that kind of information is basically what I'm trying to get at.
The first thing that you need to do is approach it like a business. So there's certain things you need to have as an actor from a business. First and foremost, before anything else, because you don't have anything else, headshot.
Right.
Like you need to find a photographer, and you should know a lot of photographers and do a headshot session or headshot sessions. So figure out who you would play. Like watch TV, watch movies, figure out who or what you would play. Like it's easy for me to figure out my typecast. I'm a big, muscular, scary looking dude.
Right.
I'm not going to get cast as a computer hacker. I'm probably not even going to get to be a romantic lead in a rom-com.
Okay.
Just not going to happen. So that part was easy. So I know like the headshot that he just showed was my general theatrical, not looking too mean, but you can tell like who I play from the headshot. Like you see the headshot, you go, okay, I know what that person can do. I know how to cast that person. That's the first thing you need before you even do any acting. Because when you submit for auditions, the first thing they look at is your headshot.
Right.
That's the first thing you have to do. For casting calls, when I first started off, I looked literally everywhere. Like Vince knows from when I was doing stand-up, like when I'm pursuing something, I'm very hardworking. I would live in Orlando. I would drive to Naples, Florida to make $25 and drive all the way back. I would spend more money than I would make to do shows. I would do shows for free. I would drive to Tampa or Jacksonville, do a free guest spot just to be seen by the people that make the decisions. It's all about just putting work on tape.
Gotcha.
So I literally, the reason I did Ash versus Lobo and the DC Dead, the reason I did the Jason films is I found the casting call breakdown for the first Jason on Craigslist.
Wow.
And basically they're like looking for a Jason Voorhees type character. And I emailed them, and I had very little material to show at that point. I'd done almost nothing. I had almost nothing to show them. It was just like basically my headshot. And they emailed me, the producer emailed me back like within 5 minutes. He's like, "We love your look." And I was like, "Yeah, well, duh, of course you do." And like, we met up that night, and they're like, I vibed with everyone in the room. They're like, "Cool, let's do this." And I did the Jason Voorhees thing, and that particular, these are just fan films. This is just literally just to get started acting. This fan film got over 1 million views now. The guys are called WTF LOL. They're on YouTube. They produce like just phenomenal fan films. Like the quality of it is amazing. When people see these, they assume the budget is 5 or 10 times higher than it is just because of how good it looks, because they're really talented people. And that became like my tribe. So whenever those guys would call me to do something, I'm down. Whatever it is. Like they're like, "We want to do this thing." Cool, we're doing it. So Ash versus Lobo was me. I went to them before I was moving to Atlanta. I was like, "Look, I'm moving to Atlanta. I've got a little bit of money saved up. I want to do something really, really cool. What do you got?" And they pitched me. They had already made Marvel Zombies versus Army of Darkness, the graphic novel, into a fan film.
Oh.
And when they put it online, it got them a ton of attention. People basically like, "This is the best fan film of all time." Marvel's like, "We don't like that." Marvel shut it down. And they're like, they appealed. They're like, "Hold on. Like, we're very clear. We don't own the IP. We didn't monetize this video or the channel.
Right.
This is fair use doctrine." Marvel's like, "Okay, fine." They let it back up online. Another few 100,000 more views, a bunch more fans. And Marvel's like, "Nope, you're done forever." So when they pitched me the idea of Ash versus Lobo in DC, they did it because this is 2015. At this point, Marvel's been making movies for 15 years. DC arguably still hadn't.
Right.
Plus, they wanted to use Lobo, who I was unfamiliar with as a character. And they're like, "What about this?" And I was like, "Hold on, let me see who this dude is." And I was like, "Holy shit. Okay."
Yeah, Lobo's a badass.
And then I read a comment on the internet, because you should always do that. And the comment said, and I quote, "No human actor can ever play Lobo. He would have to be CGI." And I called him up. I was like, give me 8 weeks.
Wow.
And I fucking worked out like crazy. My diet was insane. And I came in as like 275-pound Lobo.
Jesus.
That's
4 to
awesome.
4.5 hours of makeup per day, like custom prosthetics, custom fangs, full sclera lenses, airbrushed from the waist up. Like, if you go way back to the summer of 2015 on my Instagram, you'll even see like where I had the chain around my forearm. For fight scenes, I would have to cinch it up really tight so it wouldn't fall off, and we would use zip ties under here. And like one night I took it off, you saw the chain just embedded all the way around my arm. Oof. Yeah.
Yo, well, I mean, you happen to have the biggest Lobo fan in the world here, right here, like Ty.
You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny? The whole time he was talking, I'm looking at his face and his facial structure, and all I see is Lobo.
Yeah.
Like literally, I'm sitting here like, I feel like everybody in the New Blerd Order and all around the country should campaign for a Lobo movie with D. Russo, yo.
Hell yeah.
I'm not even, I want y'all to look at my face. I'm not even joking. I'm dead ass.
I feel like Lobo has to be introduced in someone else's movie, because he's not well known, but his fan base is fanatical. If he gets introduced in like a Justice League movie or something like that to test the waters, it would be crazy.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, you're so right. Because you're right. Not a lot of people know about Lobo. He's kind of like, a lot of people kind of keep him on the side, which is ridiculous because he's a badass.
Superman's ass.
We're gonna know about him. We're gonna know about him, and D. Russo gonna be the conduit. He's gonna be the conduit for us to know that. I'm telling you.
You know who does know about him? Simon Beasley is like known as like the Lobo artist. He's the most well-known artist for Lobo comics. Simon Beasley watched that video, and the reason I know he watched the video is because he wrote a post about it on his website. Now, remember, we dropped this a month before the first Deadpool came out. So at that time, nobody ever thought a rated R movie would work. And Lobo has to be rated R.
Yeah.
Like, forget what Sci-Fi Channel did. Lobo has to be rated R.
Sure.
There's no way around that whatsoever.
It's like
so
Deadpool,
when he wrote, now again, this is the Lobo artist. What he wrote was, we might not ever get a Lobo movie, but after seeing Derek Russo as Lobo, I'm okay with that. And I was he co-signed the shit out of me.
Yo, so we
Yeah.
could literally launch this campaign
Yes.
right here, right
Yeah.
now. That God damn it, we want Russo, formerly of the DC universe, as a Black Lightning character, to embody that goddamn Lobo character. Even though we really had him slided for Magic Mike 6 before that. You know what I'm saying? Because he was doing, do the Magic Mike thing. You know, that was a thing. I mean, I do have questions about that picture, but we're gonna leave that part alone.
Hey, you know what's funny? You know what's funny is they actually spotlighted a little bit of Lobo in that show that came on Krypton. It was such a joke of I was like, is this what we're gonna get? Like, this is the first time we really seeing him on screen, and this is what you give us. So yeah, listen, I'm campaigning. I'm telling you, bro. I'm your campaign manager. I'm going out there. I'm not playing. Listen, on everything I know, on everything I love, from now until they do it, I will post something every single day in reference to Lobo and D.
Who's the artist for Lobo?
Cross my heart.
Simon Beasley.
Simon, look at Kojo is in his look. Kojo's signing off his mic. He's going on to his MySpace right now.
Yes. I love it.
I'm about action. Let's go. Let's make this happen right now.
Let's go. Let us know.
You gonna tweet at him?
Patrice, you feeling that idea, Patrice?
I am here for it. Let me know where to sign. Like I said, we're your team now. We're your low-key team. We got my man over here in the bag on the Twitter system. About to go into the Twitterverse. Let's go.
Russo, you got to get on Twitter and be like, yo, Simon, you got to watch the new Blerd Order episode today. Just came out. I was on there, and it was dope, and we shouted you out. Just saying.
He gave you his name, Yas. Jumping his DMs.
Yes.
He gave you his name.
Jumping his DMs.
Take one for the team.
Oh, no.
Jumping his DMs.
Yes, you're a model.
Exactly. No. I don't need some old man trying to creep in my stuff right now. I'm engaged. Okay? I'm engaged.
Hey, look, you want to move up in this world?
How
about you want that spot in the movie?
Want a model forever?
Right. Patrice is like, listen, girl, you got to use what you got.
Nah, I ain't that kind of model. Sorry, I don't show these goodies.
These just jokes, ladies. We just playing. I'm not asking Yas to whore herself out, but I'm
I ain't
just
up for
saying.
sale, dog.
Unless you gonna do it. I'm just.
If we are a team,
it's like the Fire Festival all over again. We just gotta ask. We just gotta test it out. I don't know.
If we are a team, and I feel like we are, like certain people have certain abilities, and you have to use those abilities. Like I, for example, am tragically heterosexual, and am therefore completely unable to sleep my way up in my profession.
I can't right now.
We won't be seeing.
My fiance is listening, and I'm just saying he's shaking his head right now.
Yeah, we're just kidding, Austin. We're just kidding.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that means we won't be seeing D. Russo in any Tyler Perry movies anytime soon.
That's going to be on Yaz's, appeal.
Hey, yo, I'm so serious though, man. I want this to happen.
Check out the gram though. I just won't be sliding in his DMs. Just
yeah. Yas has a force field between her and her DMs on the gram because she's got some pretty exotic photos on there. But we're not going to expose that. But you were saying something.
I can imagine because literally, like when Creepshow came out, I got this like flood of new followers on Twitter and Instagram, and so many of them had references to like Harry or the word bear in their profile, and I was like, "Oh, that's right." So take my shit off.
Yo, that's what it is.
Well, hashtag be getting the wrong kind of attention, dog. I'm all I got to say. Algorithm,
crazy,
not okay.
We should think of a dope hashtag as a campaign for Russo. Russo as Lobo. Russo, D. Russo for Lobo. Something like that. We'll figure it out by the end of the show.
Bastich Russo.
Huh? What is it? Hashtag
Bastich.
Message? Okay. I don't know what just happened.
We're
going to have to edit that part out.
Like we do languages, but like for some reason, Bastich is one of his words.
Bastard.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, that's a great thing. Now, Ty, I know this is a show that you watched, so I think this is a show that you watched, and I think Kojo, you might have watched it as well. I haven't seen the sequel of this, but tell us about your experience on this too, D. Russo.
We're at war. I don't give a shit about words.
Always killing, never thinking.
It's easy for you to say. You just hide in the shadows and come out when the killing ends.
Yeah, that's right. I'm waiting for the killing to end.
Well, you're in luck. You don't have to wait very long.
That's a badass line, first of all.
Did you just joke or laugh at that guy? Like, straight up?
Yeah. That line is badass, yo. Oh, whoa. I'm sitting here, but I'm looking invisible. Anyway, I'm here. Trust me. Just trust me. I'm here. I'm just doing a quick impression.
Do you have your Harry Potter invisibility?
Yeah. I have my invisible cloak on right now. I'm doing the.
You need me to boost you up in your chair?
Yeah. Well, here I come. All right, so what's that like, bro? I mean, when you're on that set, is that the same thing? Because I know that Sons of Anarchy is more of a cult following. So after you do Sons of Anarchy, you don't really get the same, fan feedback as you do with some of the Marvel. There's a whole different universe going on there. What's that all about, bro?
Well, that movie still hasn't been sold and distributed yet, so it hasn't come out. I got permission to like take those scenes and put them on my reel, but that was and might be still that at the time, and we shot that in September of 2017, so I literally just started training under my coach, and there was already a dramatic difference. But the reason that was my favorite scene is because every role that I get on film and TV, I'm supporting. So I'm here to move the story along, support the leading characters, present some information that hadn't been there yet. That role, I'm the lead. Like, I'm the main character versus Emilio being the other main character. So I'm not supporting anyone. I'm the story.
Oh,
so I had permission to be more. So I took that role. It was like 75 pages of dialogue, and I was the stunt coordinator, which I didn't want to be, but I had to be by default because I didn't have one. So I had this opportunity opposite like a well-known actor to really, really perform. And what Emilio did, which was dope as shit, because he only worked for one day, is he's naturally like, he's true to himself. He's really reserved. He's really small. He's really like grounded and real, which gave me permission to be all the things I had already portrayed myself as being. So I run the gamut from angry, sarcastic, bombastic, dismissive, like all these things, because I have the freedom to do that because I'm the lead and because he's like the way that he is.
Yeah, you're playing off of him.
Oh my
God.
I like that. That's cool.
This is crazy, man. So I'm just bigging up Russo. Now, the last question I asked you actor-wise, and then we're going to get back into our geek stuff, man, is do you I mean, I don't know if this is something that you're allowed to put out there, if it like hinders you, if you do say so, but do you have a preference? I mean, I know that you have comedic origins, right? So like when you do get to play comedic roles, are you more at ease? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel a little more at home? I mean, is there a preference between your action and comedic roles, or do you just like whatever? It don't matter. As long as I'm in front of a camera and I'm doing my job, I'm cool.
If I could perform in one genre and one genre only for the rest of my career, it would be comedy 100%, which is the opportunities I get the least of. Like, I love comedy so much. Like, literally, I've only got one TV comedy. You're showing my comedy reel. I've only got one TV comedy on there because I get very, very few opportunities to do comedy on TV. Like, I just put another one down that I feel good about. But yeah, like I love comedy so much. It's one of the two things that you expect the least when you look at me, whether you look at me in person or my headshot. The two things you expect the least is that he'll be funny and he can do gut-wrenching emotional drama. Both things I'm really good at that I almost never get asked to do.
Oh, wow.
I feel like they don't know though. I feel like like you said off your headshot, and like you were describing to us, when you were saying, pick what you would see yourself as,
Right.
you don't. I feel like you need to maybe change your headshot a little bit then, like if you want to get that kind of,
I mean, I've got a different one that I did just for comedy.
Okay. Has it been working for you?
Again, it was the same thing when I would walk on stage when I was a comedian. I would walk on stage and everybody would think the same thing. What the fuck is this? And what is he doing up there? Literally, like it became my opener for a while. I was like, oh yeah, I get it. What, the bouncer's on stage? He's gonna kick somebody out.
I mean, okay, so they're like
about protein powder. Okay, make it quick.
I got it.
Yo, man, we used to roast G. Russo so hard because it did not look like he was supposed to be on stage when he was on stage, and he used to try to like come in all slick. He had the Kango, you know. Yeah. I know he used to try to wear like shirts and stuff to like make it seem like you weren't as big as you really were.
I don't know what I was thinking.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm just saying, I feel like that's a stereotype. Look at The Rock. Like you said, he's only about an inch taller than you, and he's a big guy as well. And like we love how hilarious he is. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's something that he's known for. So I feel like why is that not a thing?
Already famous.
Yeah,
but he was when he was actually The Rock, he was still hilarious before
he was as a wrestler.
He was just on WWF. Like it was his personality, bro.
Yeah, like, when you get into acting and you're already famous, like that's a huge thing. And he's also worked really, really hard. Like if you look at his acting in A Scorpion King and you look at his acting going forward, like he's really worked hard.
Yeah.
Do we have to look at his acting in Scorpion King? Because
Scorpion King. Good name drop.
You like Scorpion King for real?
I liked it too, but I understand what you're talking about though. Like if you look at, recent stuff of his back into, in the 90s, there's a very big difference of his quality of his acting. It's literally just been climbing. So I get what you meant. That was great. That was great foreshadowing. I love that. That was awesome.
It was a decent movie. It was a decent spinoff of The Mummy and everything. But I do think that the underlying this thesis is, if I may, is that it don't matter what it is you want to do, you got to put yourself out there, right? Like you can't expect your aspirations to come to you. You got to go out there and get them. When folks like me, with
100% a numbers game.
With Kojo,
it's 100% a numbers game. Like you, because like literally the job is to audition. Yes. Like that's my job. My job is to audition, and I usually don't get paid for it, but that's my job. And the more auditions I put down, the more better auditions I put down, the greater the chance that I'll eventually book something. And most of it is out of my hands. Like they could love what I did with the role, but I'm too big. I've been fired from 2 jobs because of my side. One of them was Ballers.
What? Wow. That would have been against The Rock.
No, I wasn't even in the scene with him. I was in a scene with Robert Wisdom and John David Washington, and I was playing a character called, I shit you not, Big White Dude. And
that's probably why you got cut, bro.
That's football.
Like, and I was like, you okay? I'm Italian. Is that okay? That works. All right, cool. Let's do this.
What'd you say, Ty?
I said that's crazy because Ballers is football.
Right.
Why is he too big for football?
Because of the name they gave you.
That was the name I auditioned for. So we get down there, we go through the blocking and the rehearsal. I walk through it with the stunt coordinator. I try to make it would have been my first SAG stunt at the time. And I was really psyched. I wanted to make it big. Like I wanted to go over the bar. He's like, just whatever. So Robert Wisdom, who's a big dude, he's about my height, about my weight, just put together differently, grabs me and pushes me down. That's the stunt. That's it. So we walk through it. We're sitting down. They're setting up the lights. They got the stand-ins over there, and I'm sitting there with Robert and John David, and I'm on top of the world. And I don't even notice that wardrobe is bringing me a series of bigger and bigger shirts. The last of which is like a bowling league shirt, like comes down to here, like big baggy thing. And then all of a sudden, the director comes over and taps me on the shoulder. He's like, "I got to talk to you outside." And because I was too big. And they replaced me with a stunt coordinator. Yeah, I was too big because the stunt wouldn't have looked right.
Oh,
and he was right about that because what happened was Robert pushed the dude and he flew back. And I was like, okay, you're right. It wouldn't have looked right if he did that to me.
Yeah, and that's the sucky part. That's that's the sad
second part. The second time was NCIS New Orleans. So I'm auditioning to play a Navy SEAL in the opening scene of the show, It's in combat. Like I did something crazy with my audition. I put the camera on the ground. I went outside to like run wind sprints, so I'm really out of breath and really sweaty. I booked the role. I get to New Orleans. I do my fitting. I have to go in and get dead eye contacts because I die in the episode and they're going to show me on a slab. I would have been the first person that didn't have to shave for their jacket photo in uniform because I was also working on MacGyver and they couldn't change my appearance. So they worked their way around that. And then they bring me to set to meet the director. They're out there shooting a scene in a helicopter, and they're like, he comes out of there shooting, he comes over to meet me. He goes, "Oh my God, your audition was so great." And he looks at me and goes, "Man, you're really big." And I was like, "Thanks." He's like, "That audition, that was really, really amazing." He goes, "Man, you're really massive." And I was like, again, thanks. And like the next morning, my agent calls me. He's like, "Yeah, they're sending you home because you're too big." I'm like, "What do you, to be a Navy SEAL?"
Right? Oh my God.
He goes, no. What they said was, once you die, you're too heavy for the other two actors to pick you up.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I was like, hire 4 extras. They'll do anything for $64.
More money.
They're like, you can stay in the hotel for the next 3 days. Everything's paid for. And I was like, God damn it.
Yo, so they didn't let you on because they puss ass couldn't go to the gym and get their weights up. So I don't know, man. Sometimes when stuff like that happens, you gotta wonder, is there more to it? You know what I'm saying? Like, really? Like, they couldn't.
Well, that one there wasn't. Like the director and the producer both called me like directly to apologize. That one there definitely wasn't. I mean, the guy they replaced me with wasn't that much smaller anyway. Maybe 20, 25 pounds, but whatever.
Yeah, I guess that
at the time I was like, and now I'm like, all right, it's cool.
Because I mean, another thing that you got to consider, guys, is sometimes you'll tape stuff and it won't, like, you'll tell your friends that you're in a show and then they'll cut your scene from the show. Like, remember Tracy was talking about that?
Yeah, Tracy was talking about that.
How she taped stuff. And so, like, there's so many ups and downs that we're not familiar with. Like, but like I was saying before, you still got to get in the pool to swim, right? So, yeah, it's like, in order for you to be a model, you couldn't just sit there and talk about it. You had to eventually get out there and get those headshots. Kojo, me, you, we had to hit that mic. Patrice, for you to get out there and educate, you got to get out there and Ty, for you to sit on that couch and smoke, you had to ultimately, like, get the weed and roll it up. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we all have our aspirations,
and the pizza rolls. And the pizza rolls.
And the pizza rolls. Don't forget that.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, once you step out there, just like we have with the new Blerd order, you just got to lay it down and keep doing what it is that you love. And as long as you're doing what you love, ultimately it makes it easier to work, which is why I'm still trying to get back into what it is that's happening with this WandaVision episode. Now, I brought D. Russo in. Ty, you came late. You missed a little bit of what we discussed earlier, but I'm learning now that Russo actually watched the WandaVision episode as well. We didn't really get to chop it down with everybody, so here's a quick trailer to bring us back to speed.
This is our home. Then let's fight for it.
Hey, don't sweat it, sis. It's not like your dead husband could die twice.
You gotta say that Wanda. So, go ahead.
Did everyone catch the kick-ass reference that was?
Yes.
Yes. I was like, oh shit! They just
And I thought of you because you pointed it out last time. I'm like, oh, she was right.
She
did.
She pointed it out. Yeah. For those that don't know what she's talking about, of course, we're talking about our two friends from Kick-Ass. Both Quicksilvers, hallelujah. We're trying to figure out how they go. We're still trying to figure out. And they actually kind of got into that. One of the things that I loved about this episode is they took a Deadpool-esque dropping of the fourth wall and just leaned into the questions that they know that the viewers have. What happened to your accent? What happened to your accent?
That shit is so funny.
You know what I'm saying? Why do you look different? Well, I mean, hey.
Why do you look different?
You know what I'm saying? It was so nice. And again, I posted earlier in the group that this is why I love Marvel, because they are catering to the level of intellect that they believe that their viewers have, right? They don't have to explain everything. They know that you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have to sit here and talk to us about the fact that there's a lady who could not go past that stop sign. in order to get into the real world. And there's also theories about her. I'm starting to think that she might not be who she says she is, Agnes.
Did you see her hair change?
She had like this huge role. Like she was in the opening credits of the Malcolm in the Middle little spoof that they did with the kids, who, by the way, are going to be the shit in upcoming episodes. Dare I say, may even have their own spinoff. Look, I mean, these kids just guess they literally came out of nowhere. 1 week we're looking at them as little babies, and the next week they're running around, stealing candy, doing all kind of crazy shenanigans, and we know that we're looking at the future Wiccan and Speed. Now, I don't know, Ty, if you're familiar with Wiccan and Speed. Patrice, I don't know if you are as well, but I know Kojo is a big comic book reader. Can you tell us a little more about Wiccan and Speed, Kojo? Or are you up to speed with these folks, man? What's going on?
Barely. I'm not gonna lie to you, because that's when I started dropping off a little bit. But I recognized them for a second. I'm like, why? It put like this. It made me research them more. I'm like, why do these kids look like they're? Why is he wearing a cape? Why is he have that? Oh, Young Avengers thing. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because you have to realize, WandaVision, every 5 minutes there's another hit coming in. There's always something that says, show me something. Like, oh, like Captain Marvel. Rambo. I'm like, okay. The God Wu. Okay. It's nothing. Put like this. It is like a meal that an Italian woman gives you. You have to eat everything. Everything is edible. You eat nothing. It's like, oh, what is this? Eat it. It doesn't.
I'm literally nodding in Italian.
Oh my God. Or
Spanish.
Or Spanish.
If it's on the plate, it can be consumed. Just like if it's on WandaVision, it means something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm in full. Listen, like we always refer, Ty and I talk about that movie Unknown Origins, where they go into the delicacies and intricacies of nerddom, geekdom, blerdom, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not going to lie, I wasn't a big Young Avengers reader. I'm not big on Wiccan and Speed. I knew of their existence, but I'm not really as completely up to par with their existence. Ty, I know you dig into these things, but I do know that, just doing a little bit of research, that WandaVision creators are doing their due diligence when it comes to actually presenting this storyline in conjunction with the actual comic book story. So I'm just wondering, like, if that's the case, that means that we could have a blueprint to what this story will lead to. So what should we expect next? Do we know what's going to happen now that we know that the story that they're castigating on stage, on the screen, is coming from the comic book? What say anybody?
Well, I got a couple of things. One, Marvel's doing a really good job staying true to the comics as much as they can in a different medium. They're taking a lot from the comics. There's a reason why you're seeing so many Easter eggs from the comics, like their original uniforms, as Halloween costumes or not. Like, right. That's a nod to the comics. The fact that their kids are about to be Wiccan and Speed, which they'll probably be named the next episode, is from the comics. Right. One thing that got brought up a little bit earlier, but not quite tied together, is the reason that Wanda was able to have these children in the comics, in part, was because of Mephisto. So when Quicksilver walks in, he's like, this place is as charming as hell. You're like, is he Mephisto?
Right.
Well, Mephisto's like, we know there's multiple bad guys. I'm also like kind of on board with the theory that Ultron has come back to life in a human character, because he did that in the comics, and the character looked kind of like this guy. Mephisto would make sense as the big bad in this one, because this leads directly into the next Marvel Doctor Strange movie, which is the multiverse of madness. She's creating the multiverse, or she's got a hand in the multiverse or something. Like, all of these shows are setting up the next phase of the MCU. This is what links together Endgame to the next phase of the MCU, is these 4 shows. They all have a role to play in setting that up. This one is like laying a lot of groundwork for a lot of stuff. Like, that's the cool thing to watch it unfold, because I know like nothing. Like, they don't let me know shit. I was in, like, every time I would go in for a fitting, I'm looking at the costumes and the concept art, and I'm trying to figure things out, and I can't really. And I'm like, I just know it's going to be awesome. Like, the writing's amazing. The writers that they have, Michael Waldron is the one who wrote mine. Like the writing's awesome, the casting is great, everything's really, really, really good. And whoever it was that told you that WandaVision was trash, obviously, that person has no idea what they're talking about. Even though it did start slow the first couple episodes.
It was.
I just had faith that it was leading to something amazing, and we were absolutely right. So anyone that tuned out after the first episode or two is missing like all the shit.
That almost was Ty and Vince. Just saying.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if it's slow.
Look at his face.
It was literally at a halt. Like
They were steady hating. Ty was hating on the black and white. Vince was like, I don't know.
Still hating on it.
I don't know.
It's the 50s, changed.
Everything on the 50s was black and white.
But I feel like they could have done like the first 3 episodes in one. Like it was just
he's
just babying us along. We know we got it.
They have a new theme song every week for every new show. Like
that was cool. That was cool.
Thank you, Russo. Tell them.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Well, but why? I mean, but why two different? Why go from Dick Van Dyke to Mary Tyler Moore? Like, why? We don't need like Patrice is somebody.
50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
But you could do that in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
If they're doing decades, that's when the kids come in, to show the decades. You get it? That's why they skipped to 10 years old in the decades.
But they skipped in the one scene and it was like instant. Like,
wait a minute. When did Wiccan and when did they come out in the 90s? Didn't they?
80s.
Yeah,
in the 80s or 90s.
I thought it was 90s.
It was like the 80s.
Wait.
No, we just did the 90s. This is the second episode they've been in.
Yeah,
there were kids in the comic books in the 90s. You notice what they're doing? In the 80s, there were little babies. In the 90s, if you look at any comic book, they were like a little bit more adolescent, they were a little older. So if you look at books
they're teenagers, right?
You're gonna see these kids at that same height, in the same age. I bet you when they jump again, they're gonna be older because now we're towards 2000s.
Well, yeah, because
we're get it. That concept was cool, but I just think that it could have been done in like a shorter time frame. I didn't think you needed like 3 whole episodes.
I feel like y'all are being massively impatient, y'all. That's all I gotta say. Y'all are being massively impatient. Damn it. Okay, we're in quarantine. Y'all need to chill the fuck out and just watch because there ain't nothing else to do.
As an essential worker, I want my time to be reversed. Okay, reimburse me for the first 2-3 episodes. Okay, I gotta go work in the morning.
Too. I watch my shit.
Watch y'all get an Emmy. Watch y'all get an Emmy. Bet money. I said it before. Episode 1. Nominated for the Emmy.
I will eat my words if they get an Emmy for episode 1.
They're not gonna get an Emmy, bro.
Don't
They're not getting no Emmy. Now listen, it's a great show. It's a great show, but not Emmy worthy. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
We ain't done yet, so don't count your chickens before they hatch, my man. Okay.
One of the things they did in episode 1 that I caught that I really dug was when she used her magic to pull the beds together, because in the 1950s, husband and wife always slept in separate beds.
Right.
Like that.
That's a good. That's
so
a good.
Right, but that's see, Russo, you as well as I and Tyrone have seen the beautifulness of the eras and the changing of how. Yeah, it's beautiful. Listen, we have to pay homage. We have to pay homage to our history, and they're doing that.
They change over for the decade for every single scene. Like the whole set decoration changes everything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's See, I'm glad that you, as well as I and Tyrone, are optimists that it's not here today. But I'm glad that you see that as well, because that's the beauty of this show. That's what they're showing you, like just how time just moves so fluidly. Like we did have this no color, you know what I'm saying? And like
hair and makeup and costumes.
Yeah, it's literally and clothing, everything. Like it literally changed all in a decade. You know what I'm saying? Like we had 10 years of a certain way we did things, and in a decade it all changed. Like I think the way they did this was awesome, and I feel like they definitely paid homage to our history. They paid homage to the what's to come, and they're opening up to like the best future ever, because like we don't even know what this is gonna bring. You know what I'm saying? Like Russo was saying, I believe as well as him that like this show's gonna go into the multiverse. You know what I'm saying? With Doctor Strange. So, and this show, like at the last 2 episodes are gonna give us what we really need to like hook us into wanting to see those movies so bad, and that's where they're gonna catch us back.
Well, the only thing I will say is that those first 2 episodes at 20 minutes apiece, and forgive me as I lag a little bit, those first couple episodes could have been combined into one episode.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. 100% agree.
Yeah, I mean, like Marvel knows we're impatient. They made us this way. Don't sit here and act like we don't, like you gave us the Avengers, and then Avengers wasn't a slow crawl. We got Hulk, Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye, all in the first movie. Don't act like Marvel isn't like, so this is the first time. It's like when mom comes in and she says she's making mac and cheese, but she doesn't make it the usual way. She starts to, like we were accustomed to getting it a certain way. And I know I'm not, I know I'm all right. You know what? All right, look.
Are you trying to say that like you got a bowl of pasta and then a bowl of melted cheese and you have to put it together yourself?
But
no, I can say this though. I can appreciate all of the nice finite details. I can appreciate them walking us through time, paying homage to like the earrings, the style, the different eras. I can appreciate all of that. I just would have appreciated it in like 20 minutes versus 3 episodes. That's all I'm saying. They could have.
They dropped the whole season all the way together. None of these conversations are happening. If people could watch the whole season back to back, just binge right through it, none of this is happening. They're making us wait a week in between because Disney has a business.
I don't mind the waiting in a week in between, but I'm just saying like that. Just the link from those first couple.
Who's the kind of person that gets mad at those YouTube ads? Those 5-second ads, like, come on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You always want to get YouTube ads, don't you?
Whoa!
What? I use ad blocker, so
I can't relate.
A couple things that are noteworthy as well in this episode. If those of y'all didn't catch these few things, did you see when Vision woke old girl up? Right, and she was like, "It's you." But you're dead. Dead. Like what the heck? Like what's going on? Like why she had to keep saying dead like that? You know what I'm saying? Like what? And what is it that? What is it? Somebody please, real quick, guys. Somebody please tell me what power this is that Vision is using to wake people up out of their hypnosis so that they can be alive. Like what? I didn't know Vision had
Vision is a computer. Vision is a computer, and your brain is a massive computer. All he's doing is rebooting you.
Oh, okay.
That's all he's doing. That's all he's doing is rebooting your brain.
Yeah. Also, Vision told Wanda, "You can't control me the way you can control everyone else."
Yep.
So he's part of her simulation or whatever you want to call it, but not really. Like he exists somewhat outside of it. He was able to escape the limits of it briefly before being sucked back in. So he can manipulate things. He's already shown it by waking someone up and putting them back to sleep. Right. He can walk through it. He can notice like the people on the outskirts of town who are further away from the center of her power. She's controlling less. They're basically just standing there or doing one thing repeatedly.
Right.
See, my question was, why was Agnes, like when they had that little conversation, why didn't she immediately say, "Oh, you're dead"? Like first she's like, "Oh my God, you're Vision, you're an Avenger, help us." Like, do you think that was purposeful that she like kind of just was acting like he was normal and then was like, "Oh, you did"?
Everything's purposeful. Everything has a purpose. They don't put anything in there without a reason.
Everything's
so remember, she told the boys when they were gonna go break the sound barrier when they got their powers, right? Mm-hmm. That when he got his powers and she told him to take her brother with him, that not to go past Ellis Street. The street that Agnes was at was Ellis Street.
That's the edge of town.
Yeah. So and that's why she told the boys that, because she knew that was going to start, like, if you remember when he was walking up to that point, all the people around there were basically robots.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're very like they're checked out, you know what I'm saying? Like they were just standing there, you know, they were just like fragments, you know what I'm saying? So
do you think that's like an extension of like the reach of her powers? Like it's so much to just keep the middle part of the city like flowing that the outskirts are just kinda...
I feel like she's got to be at the center of it for it to, you know, for everything to be working, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why if you think about it, all the events, she's always at all of the town events in the middle of, you know, wherever they're at. Like the talent show, you know what I'm saying? Like all different, like she's always in the center of it, if you think about it. Whenever
they also showed how her powers work to create the town when she did that expansion of the town. Like as the wall expands and the people pass under, they go from being soldiers to being clowns. Like she and the power flows out of her. They showed it flowing out of her and outwards. She has to physically force it outwards. So she created whatever was there before. Like she's created all this, even though she doesn't remember. And like the speculation is it's because of her grief over Vision dying. But she's literally like created this world where she lives in a sitcom with her husband and now her children.
Yeah.
But she is insanely powerful.
Oh yeah.
Like she's the most powerful member of the Avengers who would have single-handedly beaten Thanos had he not brought down the airstrike. Like and Wiccan, her son is more powerful than her because him and Speed are born mutants. Like Wiccan is in the comic books, his power is if it's not Jean Grey, it's close.
Oh wow!
Yeah. You got someone who Jean Grey.
He could hear his dad.
Jean Grey is.
He could hear him, and he could feel him just like Jean Grey. Remember? And he was like, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" And he was like, "There's something wrong with Dad." And she was like, "Where is he?" And he couldn't figure it out quick enough. Remember? So she was like, "All right, stop." And then she found him. Remember that?
Yeah.
And not to mention, like, let's not discredit young man and he's not just a telepath. Like, dude's got super strength. He stopped his little brother from like running at like 100 miles an hour, like that. He was like, "Whoa, dude!" You know what I'm saying?
No, it wasn't. But it wasn't super strength, bro. It wasn't super strength. If you look at his hand when he did that, there was like the same energy that comes out that Wanda manifests has that same energy. It was like he stopped him with the energy. It wasn't like he stopped him with his hand. Like you could see the energy coming from his hand. But I just wanted to speak on this before we moved on. But I don't know if anybody really noticed the fact that when Pietro and Wanda were talking, and he made the comment of, Mom and Dad would really love to see this, and then she hesitated and she was like, "Yeah, they would." Well, if what we're seeing reigns supreme, it seems as though whenever Wanda conjures an idea, that idea has a way of manifesting.
Coming to life.
And if that happens, then this could be like a almost like a premonition of what's to come from that X-Men universe. Because because if we really get her real father, then we're talking about Magneto.
Yes.
So if that is like the big, because I still understand that Marvel has gotten is going to give us, I think, 2 more big names that are going to appear. I know from what I'm hearing, one of those is at some point we are going to see Doctor Strange in the WandaVision episode. But could that other big name be Magneto? And if so, do we get the Ian McKellen version?
Mm-hmm. Right. I think that's a good theory, bro. I do think that you have already, as you stated in the last few weeks, you brought up the fact that they're not only showing that they're going to bring in some of these characters, but they're exuding some of the qualities of the characters. Let's spin back to when Wanda once again had all of the guns pointed at my man, just as Magneto did in the original X-Men movie, when he had all of the guns pointed at, which I wouldn't have even.
Yeah, the bullet. The bullet expired.
That's so funny. I totally forgot about that.
And Ellis Avenue. And listen. Remember what happened on Ellis Island?
Yes.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that big
when they rained down on
thing that was coming, that expanded the same way that Wanda's power expanded when it did?
Explain it.
I just want to point out that was the Statue of Liberty, not Ellis Island.
Oh, that was okay. You're right. But Ellis Island was where
right next to it.
Where You're right. My bad. You're right. Ellis Island was where Magneto kept the mutants, right?
Yeah. Right. So, but again, a plausible callback. So now we're not only in the last episode we see tidbits of Magneto. Now we're seeing tidbits of Jean Grey. Now we're seeing Quicksilver, not just in Quicksilver Pietro, but Quicksilver in Wick and Speed. Like, it's completely. And so the question is this theory completely gone now? Is it not possible now that our Pietro is indeed Mephisto, but it seems more like Wanda literally did create her brother? And Marvel, as brilliant as they are using this as an excuse to bring in one of the characters out of a completely different universe. And this is how we combine these Avengers and X-Men universes. Like, we've already seen the crossover happen, and they've done it in a way that makes sense to the audience, because they're not just letting it slide that he has no accent, letting it slide that she has no accent, letting it slide that he looks completely different. Like, they're bringing up the obvious elements. Of what's up, Ty?
Hey, I want to say this. She didn't create Pietro.
Yeah.
Listen, Pietro got shot 3 times.
Yep.
When Wanda looked at Pietro for a moment, he had 3 gunshot wounds to his chest.
Oh, wow.
He also told her, all I remember is some guy coming up and shooting me, and then boom, I was here. I knew you needed me.
Yep.
Oh,
wow. Okay, so hold on. I was just about to literally touch base on that. I was like with that picture and everything, like, if you think about it, she just got pissed at him and just blasted him, did she not?
Yeah. Yes, she did.
Okay, so we have no idea if that is what really brings out Mephisto. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he's like, I'm done playing your stupid charade, you know what I'm saying, with these kids, like, I'm gonna really show you what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know if that's what's to come. We have 2 more episodes left, but we don't know what's to come. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Also, when he showed up, she didn't know who it was. Like,
right.
when the doorbell rang, they're like, "Who is it?" She genuinely didn't know.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of key terms, and like why he's here, and like what his, you know what I'm saying, purpose is, and she's trying to figure out, like, how did he just get here? She stole Vision's body.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said he didn't create them. Yeah, these are dead.
Exactly.
These are dead, like the dead version of Vision, the dead version of her brother.
Right.
She is somehow finding a way to get, like, well, I know we know that she went and took Vision's body.
Yeah.
But with him, it was almost like subconsciously she thought about him so much that wherever his body was, she made it manifest there. And that's what I'm saying, like that way that she switches up reality and changes everything. Plus, from looking forward, we know that this is the first time that Marvel has had the ability to tap into all the studios, Sony, Fox, everything. And now what we see is Kevin Feige, now that he has all of these assets at his disposal, he wants to reintroduce these other studios into this MCU universe.
Yes.
So now that we know that, the X-Men, the fact that they're bringing all of these, because everybody had a lot of speculation about Quicksilver's hair. But I'm going to tell you, when I saw his hair, the first thing I thought was Wolverine.
Yeah.
That is the first thing I thought. I was like, I don't think Mephisto. I think Wolverine. That's Wolverine's hairstyle. Like, that was like his original, like, for a long time hairstyle. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but he didn't have like facial hair.
Well, what I mean, the younger version, didn't. He had like a little goatee, but I mean, like, I'm talking about the hairstyle, like.
Yeah, I
But I'm just saying, like, we know that they've made references to this aerospace scientist who I think is Reed Williams. Reed Richards. My bad, Reed Richards. But Reed Richards, and we know that Reed Richards in the MCU is the smartest, most intelligent person, even smarter than Tony Stark.
Not smarter than Shuri.
He's smarter than Shuri. In the MCU, Reed Richards is the smartest, most intelligent brain in the MCU, based on the way Marvel breaks down who's the smartest and most intelligent.
White privilege.
That makes a lot of sense why Dr. Doom hates on his ass so hard.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It seems as though WandaVision is the conduit to branch out into all of these different things via, and then we're gonna have the multiverse, which allows us to tap into each one of these these characters, or each some of these characters rather.
What's the black dude's name? What's his name?
Herb.
Herb. How do you not know that?
Because I didn't read the IMDb joint before I started.
How do you not know his name is Herb? Herb.
Herb. His name's Herb.
But did we not get like there was a small scene where Herb kind of gave us Agnes-esque type of, hey, do you want us to change it? Is everything okay?
He's already giving us that. He's already giving us that.
Well, before he gave us clues that he knew that he was under the spell. But what I didn't know was whether or not he was in cahoots with Wanda, because it felt more like before he was trying to escape, like he was aware of what was going on. He was trying to escape it. But now it feels more like he's like, look, let's make this work. Do we need to redo this? Do we need to do a take two? What's popping, Wanda? And she was like, nah, I'm good. Almost as if she doesn't even have an idea that she allowed him to be part of the editing staff as opposed to being just a cast member. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no.
So are there more people that are around Wanda that actually are aware of
everybody knows?
Well, everyone knows. It's like their subconscious is being suppressed. So they all know to a degree.
Hold on. Go ahead. Patrice, what were you saying?
Oh, I said everybody kind of knows because their subconscious is being suppressed. So everyone knows to a degree what's going on. They just don't have any control, except for Agnes and Herb apparently can kind of.
And the mailman. And the mailman.
What were you saying, Yas? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. I was saying that I totally lost my
Read, wake and bake, boy. It'll do your body right.
But my question is, we kind of knew what you were saying though before, because Agnes and Herb were having that secret conversation, like talking about how Geraldine ain't from here, like she ain't got no home, like who does that is? And then when Vision saw them, you saw how they stopped talking, like they knew that Vision wasn't really clued in yet either. So we kind of get that idea earlier on that they have a bigger role.
Agnes said to Wanda in her living room, she goes, do you want me to take that back? Which is confirmed, meaning do you want me to start the scene over again? And Wanda was genuinely confused. Like I think a huge part of the manifestation of this, Wanda isn't even consciously aware of. Like she knows when she's manipulating things, but I don't think she realizes like when it all started, or she wiped that out of her own memory or suppressed somehow.
I remember what I was gonna say.
What's up, Yas?
Okay, sorry. Just saying. Anyway, what I was going to say before was that remember when the Stark rocket went in, or the drone went in, and Hayward had control over it, right? Mm-hmm. My whole thesis is that maybe when that happened, because remember when the drone came out, it still had her powers around it, and they were trying to study it, and we got a glimpse of that as well. So I think that maybe when that happened, you know what I'm saying? It's like a blip happened, and that's why Herb and certain people can do those kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? More often. You know what I'm saying? Like someone's trying to hone in on her power to control it, to figure out how to get those people out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Thing is, what if someone else started this? I really feel like this wasn't even her idea at the inception. I feel like she's just the catalyst to create this whole experiment.
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking of something
Wolverine, when what everything happened to him, if he could have done this, that this would have been this is her kind of catalyst, this is her kind of catalyst,
oh my god. This is her kind of catalyst, we're having a party over here. Yeah, man, I got that sense too that Wanda is a victim of her own power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like she's being used against herself in her psychotic breaks. She's having a psychotic break.
Yeah,
but
I saw that last week.
She's like a functioning psychopath. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just keeping it real. Like she's like a
functioning psychopath.
Yeah, I spoke to that last week with her having a mental break. Like you don't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Vince, we lost you.
He's gone.
Yeah, well, yeah, I spoke to that last week when I said that I think she had a mental break. Yeah, we got to pump him up. Yeah, he'll come back. But it seems like she did. Like I think the loss of Vision was so traumatic to her that you know, if you've ever been around somebody or even, you know, been in a situation yourself, you know that when something like that happens, you disconnect from the world. You disconnect from reality. You disconnect from the world. You just go into shutdown mode. And I think with Wanda's grief is so abundant that like she has created an alternate like personality. And I think that alternate personality takes control when she gets upset. And so, and so whenever that happens, she's not aware because you're over here and that personality is at the forefront of your mind. So, so a lot of these times, like when she said the vision before he left and he was like, I'm going to do neighborhood watch. She was like, you're not supposed to do, you know, it's like, so in her mind, like I do something else and you're doing something totally against what I'm confused. I'm not aware of what's going on. So I think a lot of those times where she blacks out, she literally blacks out. She's not aware of what's really going on.
I still feel like there's like a co-conspirator though. I feel like there's someone playing into her grief and emotions, like that is pushing this to continue to go the way it's going. Because even then, if you want to say she has both parts, she's controlling stuff to a degree, but she doesn't even realize the extent of her own control, even when she's that other person, right? So someone has to have an idea of where this experimentation is going outside of just her being happy with her family. There's a bigger picture, I feel like, in the background.
Wanda's grief has triggered an increase in her powers before. So like the moment that Pietro dies in Age of Ultron, her grief explodes and you see her, a massive uptake in her powers. Now she all of a sudden rips his heart out of his chest, which she couldn't do before. And when we see her again, she can now use her energy to fly. Like she's gotten much more powerful. So it makes sense that the grief over losing Vision would cause another massive increase in her powers.
So on that subject, touching base, when she's walking with Pietro and she touches base on that and says to him, like, you know, I was so consumed by grief and anger, and you know what I'm saying? Like she says that to him, that, you know, that she kind of says that like she didn't know what really happened. I gotta rewatch the episode, but like when she's walking with him before she gets pissed off at him and throws him, like she literally says that to him, like she was so consumed with grief and everything that's why she created this town. That's why she, you know, like made this reality, is because she couldn't handle what actually was going on with losing him and Vision, both within, you know, like within years, not even, you know what I'm saying? Like she just, her reality was so just like, it was so angry and there's so much like, you know, just so much pain that she just literally couldn't even deal with it anymore, and that's why that they're here right now. So
does anyone know the story on the House of M?
Yes.
The House of M?
Yeah, that's like
Wanda ripped apart the entire reality of the universe. It hit from anywhere from Spider-Man down to the Wolverine over to the Avengers. She completely, out of grief, just snapped and said, you know what, no more mutants. Spider-Man,
decimation.
Everything's back to normal. You know what, this person's doing that. I don't even know this motherfucker, but he's gonna do that shit. And he completely changed everything. I mean, I think they're really basing this whole WandaVision on setting up the House of M, where she's gonna redo the reality that we're used to.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Kojo. I think this is the introduction for the MCU to mutants.
To reboot.
I think that like if you pay attention to that last episode, there was a very, very important part. And it was when Darcy told Monica that you can't go back in.
Oh yeah.
Your DNA has been rewritten twice. Yes. And so I think that the power and the cosmic energy that she's putting out there is somehow changing the DNA of a lot of human beings. And I think this is how we're going to introduce mutants to the MCU. This is a way for it to bridge that gap.
Okay.
And if you remember too, that at the end, you know, when she got so pissed and expanded the town, all of the agents became clowns. All their became funnel trucks, you know, like they became a circus basically.
Yeah.
Because that's how she
Poor Darcy just trapped to the car.
Yo, we're saying poor Darcy, but for all we know, Darcy just became a superhero.
Yep, I was just about to say that. Darcy became a
See what
superhero.
happened to Darcy. We don't know what Darcy.
Right.
Darcy
I
might
know, but it was still like,
Yeah.
they didn't do her like that.
Yeah, Darcy.
Yeah, the grief thing that we've all touched on.
I think Darcy's about to become literally all these different posts that I see in these different articles that Darcy, you know, she was insignificant in Thor, and now, you know, with her new way that she's revolved her way of acting and her way of doing things in Marvel movies, that she's going to become someone very important. We just have no idea yet.
Yeah,
that would be awesome because like Jane's becoming Mighty
literally
Thor.
have been dropping little hints that she literally is going to be more significant than we're letting on. Her and Jimmy Woo too. Like they're going to be more significant. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Kat Dennings deserves it. She deserves it. I love Kat Dennings. I've always loved Kat Dennings, and I think she deserves. She deserves it. So I hope that's the case, and they give her a bigger role in the show. But
that would be awesome if she becomes a superhero, because then Darcy is a superhero. Jane Foster is about to become Mighty Thor.
Right. Whoa. Who's about to become Mighty Thor?
Jane Foster.
Have you not been keeping track?
No. Oh, I mean, I'm sorry. That's her name that's her comic name. Okay, I was thinking about Natalie Port. I thought, okay, my bad. All right, sorry. I wasn't prepared for D. Russo to be as blurted up as he is, man. Like he's
very blurted. Yeah, he's on top of his game.
So can we get him on record before we move on to other subjects to definitely confirm for more episodes in the future? Like, yeah, we had Hollywood on this, bro, because I'll call you out there. You know what I'm saying? You gonna come back, right?
Yes.
Yes! Legally binding verbal contract. So we keep
He really doesn't have a choice. He really don't have a choice because he's going to be back regardless, especially when this Lobo movie drops. And we are the reason. Because bro, when I tell you I am campaigning, I am going out there hard, beating the streets.
And the fly.
We need D. Russo as Lobo. I'm telling you, the more and more I look at him, the more and more I just want to call him Lobo from here on out. No, fuck it. Like, it's just, that's Lobo. That is Lobo, man.
Just so you know who you're working with, Ty has literally just made Instagram yesterday and has like 5 followers and no posts. So when he says he's going to the mountain, he really means his wife and his kids that he's about to campaign to. But it's all good, man. It's all good. I love the theory that this is House of M. I'm not going to lie, as a reader, I actually have House of M right here. Well, at least the Spider-Man version, because I don't like the fact that they made Spider-Man into a mutant. Like, I hate that. Like, so if they go into this House of M thing, which makes perfect sense, because you see how she's expanding this universe, and it also... I don't. First of all, just to close that thought, I'm not a big fan of House of M. I mean, I love the concept of kind of expanding the X-Men universe, but I don't like taking organic people who were given powers, like Spider-Man, who wasn't a mutant. He was bitten by a radioactive spider, and now you're calling him a mutant because you have forged him into a mutant storyline. Not really a big fan of it, but I'm here for it if that's what happens.
Multiverse.
What?
Multiverse.
Okay, well, yeah, the multiverse, we'll see it happen. And you're going to see, as we already established in the past episodes, we're more than likely going to be seeing these characters come together in a Spider-Verse as well that will be included in this whole multiverse scenario that we're developing here. But
I'm here for Miles Morales.
Miles Morales is going to be, and let's not even fast forward to the Civil War that happened. Civil War Part 2, the comic book series, where we now see that not just any Captain American, but Steve Rogers is put down by Miles Morales, but that's a whole different story. What I really want to go into is, are we watching the origin story of, we already kind of developed this, but even more based off of what Ty said, the origin story of Monica Rambeau coming into Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah, they already said that her DNA is changed.
Yeah, they already said that.
She was light. Remember that her X-rays were all light. They had to retake them. The blood work they had to retake because it was all different. Remember that? Like, so they've already dropped hints that she is already going to be Captain Marvel. She just don't even know it yet.
Yeah, I think that third time was a charm. Third time was a charm, especially when somebody tells you you know, in any movie, if somebody tells you don't go in there, and then you go in there, it's like, it's gonna be some repercussions to you going in there. So, like in her case, it's a benefit because she's now powered. So, but yeah, I think this is, and I stand on that, and I think that this is the introduction of mutants to the MCU, and I think Wanda is the reason why a lot of people will become mutants.
I can see that.
I was gonna ask Kojo, I wanted to know from you, man, like, because is this how Captain Marvel gets her powers in the comic?
Oh man, that was back in the early 80s. I don't remember that. I have the book.
I don't think so.
Right now, anyone out there who's a collector, pick that book up. It's hitting like $40 to like $1,000 right now. You can collect it and grab it off the shelf or an eBay that now. Or the first appearance of Captain Marvel. I don't remember exactly. I have to open it up and check it out again. But I think what Ty was saying, it's the way it's going to go. I think because be honest with you, when I really look back at it, there's a real, in my opinion, a real good display of good writing is that you don't know where it's going to go. You can't predict. We're sitting here right now for over 2 hours trying to figure out shit, and half the time we're fucking wrong because I think you're making twisting us. And there's like almost 70 years of 60 to 70 years of history they're pulling from at any given time to make these movies, to make these little series. And then on top of that, you got the MCU, which is kind of like a different, alteration of history. So we have no idea where they're going to really go with it 100%. But I can tell you right now, I'm enjoying the ride.
Also, in the comics, Monica Rambeau goes by two different names. She started calling herself Photon, and then she went by Pulsar because we already have a Captain Marvel established who she's friends with. Yeah. It's very possible that she just becomes Pulsar.
Well, what about Spectrum? I thought Spectrum was a part of Monica Rambeau's lexicon as well. But I might be confusing that with a different universe. That could be the case. But clearly, they are paving the way for Marvel to have a multiverse of multiple. I mean, I honestly don't think that I'm not a believer in the Doctor Strange theory. I don't think that Doctor Strange is going to make an appearance in this series. I don't think we're going to see any.
It's already been like confirmed.
Yeah,
he will be in the I don't know if it's the finale or the episode before the finale, but it has been confirmed that Doctor Strange will make an appearance.
This is all I'm going to say. The name of the next Doctor Strange movie is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yep.
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, he's so right. Like 100%. They have to put him in here to finalize it, to tie her into that movie. So that way we understand. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I was trying to get to, like explain to you guys about not appreciating this show because they literally are setting us up for everything to come. And you guys are just like,
okay, all right.
Wait a minute. Why is our impatience meaning we don't appreciate? I still appreciate
you can't appreciate shit when you're impatient.
Listen. Enough of the lack of appreciation. We like the show. We just don't want to sit through 3 I Love Lucy episodes to get to the goddamn meat. That's all it is. And I get it. People aren't blah, 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 but goddamn, like we could have started at episode 3. You know what I'm saying?
You're never lying. You've never lied.
Motherfuckers.
Listen, now that we in the 90s, I'm good. I'm solid.
Yeah, we're fully colorized.
We are in color. We are live and in color.
Yeah, man.
And there's a lot of stuff going on out there. I feel so stupid because I meant to upload something because we did have a guest appearance. Wait a minute. Why am I seeing Russo right there? That's not what I had planned. I don't know why.
I'm not supposed to be here because
No.
You should have kicked Russo out.
I had a picture of. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We saw The Weeknd this week put a whole bunch of Deadpools on the field when he walked up and down. I wanted to play that clip, but I don't think I actually have it here anymore. But what we also saw during the Super Bowl was that they did give us some more kibbles and bits for those of us that are Marvel fans. And if you weren't watching, you missed this teaser.
gonna kick your ass.
Gotta get that first shot off before that bullet hit me.
So the Falcon and Winter Soldier are now coming. It's giving me Lethal Weapon vibes. You know what I'm saying? I think that Marvel is starting to kind of like to take on this television production that mimics other productions, but does it with Marvel style. WandaVision, as we just discussed, went through a whole slew of different generations from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and now we're up to Malcolm in the Middle and Boy Meets World. Now we're talking Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is giving me Danny Glover, Mel Gibson is giving me cop ride along type, it's giving me, True Detective meets, Magnum PI type, you know what I'm saying, with firepower. I think
Sebastian Stan is not a raging anti-Semite.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't have to worry about that part. So now it doesn't give me the whole artsy vibe that we get. I get the sense that this is going to jump right into the action. It's going to be less development, more. We're looking at more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., less Legion when it comes to this particular television
Wait a
production.
minute, Russo, are you on this one?
No, but like,
nobody is.
Because I know so many stunt people that worked on this show. Like, it's the most expensive TV show of all time.
Oh my God!
Like, I actually know somebody who was in that fight on maybe two people on that fight on top of the moving trucks. Like,
oh wow!
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like the action is crazy. A friend of mine is in every episode of the show, not as a stunt person, but yeah, like it's. I feel you on the Lethal Weapon thing, which is dope, which is part of what they're showing when they're in couples counseling, for lack of a better term. But yeah, like there's so much action.
Yeah, and that's what so basically, I think that we're noticing that Marvel not only is smart with what it is that they cast and what they put out there, but the order of which they put it out there. I think that they anticipated some impatience as it pertains to the first couple of episodes of WandaVision, but as Yas would like to call it. But I think that they knew that after episode 4, that we would be like, oh, okay. And then it doesn't stop from there. It goes from the last episode of WandaVision, which is expected next week. I think next week is the last episode. The following
What's the 9?
week,
March 5th.
two more episodes. I'm sorry, 2 more
March
episodes.
5th is the last one.
Yeah, okay, so we got 2, and then there'll be a quick break where we'll all sit, bite our nails, and go through withdrawal for Disney Plus content, and then we'll go right into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is going to give us what we want off rip. A Captain America development story, because those of us comic book readers, we know that that Falcon eventually does become Captain America, even if it's for a limited time. And we also know that Bucky becomes Captain America first. So we're looking at the 2 Captain Americas in a show that will likely show us how they translate that development. What's going on, Russo?
Don't forget John Walker.
John Walker?
Yes.
Elaborate, please. Ty, you're sitting there talking, you singing the praises. Talk about John Walker.
John Walker was supposedly the real the one that trained what's his name?
Bucky?
No. No, the Falcon to be Captain America.
Okay. Well, what do you think that's going to be a part of this show, Russo? I mean, I know you can't tell us everything. You know what I'm saying?
No, we already know he's part of the show.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, damn. Well,
yeah, that's what we said. Like you late, bro. Like, and that's why I was like, but yo, when you started, but I'm talking about. Hey, listen, I might have been late to the party, but I'm on time with the info. Know that. What I'm saying is the fact that you let in with the whole Lethal Weapon. Like Lethal Weapon, and let's be clear, Lethal Weapon was a huge success It was a huge success.
Yeah.
Like, it was a huge success because it was action packed with the comedic, underlying little thing, whatever, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing with this. This is going to be action packed. And as a Marvel fan and as a comic book fan, what do we love more than action? Like, I don't know where we got. Well, yeah, of course. Well, yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is, we got at some point as comic book fans who then became comic book movie fans, we became more enthralled with dramas, and we like instead of understanding that comic books were always action packed. That's what made it so good, was that the storylines were action, and then you got the little snippets of the little storyline, but it was more action than anything. So this is a tribute to what we originally as comic book fans fell in love with, which is action.
Also about John Walker, for the people that don't know, like John Walker is essentially the alt-right Captain America. Like he even goes by the moniker Super Patriot sometimes.
Oh my God!
And it's already been announced that Wyatt Russell is playing him, so I'm not letting out anything that's not already out there.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yo, so okay. Well, without, I know you can't say too much.
Does his son show up in the movie? I mean, in the series, do you know about that? Does John Walker's son show up?
I don't know.
Okay.
God damn it! He just said he can't say shit, and here you.
Well, no, that I just don't know. Like the only reason I know about Wyatt Russell and John Walker is because it's already been announced.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay. So that's
like it's not like I have a whole lot of knowledge. I know almost nothing about my own show, and I'm number 6 on the call sheet for the whole thing.
I guess that's just how they do it. Well, here's what I want to ask everybody. We'll start with you, Yas, since you have been going along with this ride with us. What are your predictions for the show? What do you think we're going to experience? Do we know what the villain's going to be? Is this going to tie into Wanda? Is this a completely separate storyline? Do we have a show that brings in other shows? Because it's giving me S.H.I.E.L.D. vibes. You know what I'm saying? Which says Nick Fury. You know what I'm saying? What are we looking at, Yas? What are your predictions?
All right, so we already know that Hayward, the guy who thinks that Wanda's a terrorist, we already know that he's part of S.H.I.E.L.D. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a big thing. And we know that Ultron was trying to ultimately control S.H.I.E.L.D. You know what I'm saying? Like that was his goal. Like he was just trying to just control everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like maybe we could see Ultron in him. Also another theory is that, with Wanda getting mad at her brother Pietro, I mean, we never know. He could turn into Mephisto. Like he literally could just drop the charade and, turn into that. And Doctor Strange could come out of nowhere and just stop the reality altogether. You see what I'm saying? So that might be how the final finale could go. Like there's multiple different ways that this could twist, and I don't know. I'm along for the ride. I've been enjoying it since day one, unlike you haters that came in on season 3.
I thought we were talking about what you call it.
Oh my God.
Well, Kojo, your predictions next, and then we'll go to Patrice.
Right, so we're talking about WandaVision or Captain?
We're talking about Captain America. We're talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier. Right?
Okay.
Oh, we are talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier. Oh, I thought you were talking about WandaVision. My bad.
Oh, my bad. Oh, well, I don't know.
My bad, yes, because I would have stopped you. I thought I was like, I don't know. I don't want to stop you and be wrong, but yeah, my bad.
Right.
Oh, my bad. Well, just for clarity, I was asking about Falcon and Winter Soldier, but you know what? Fuck it, man. Predictions or whatever. Shit. What's your prediction for the World Series? Shit, I don't know, man. What's the midterms, Kojo? What's going to happen in 2020? Nah, I'm just playing. Talk to us about, is it going to be Falcon and Winter Soldier? You can talk to us about predictions about WandaVision, but 2 of these shows, I am interested in hearing what you say about Falcon and Winter Soldier, though.
I would say, honestly, with the Falcon and Winter Soldier, I don't know. Coming from off of WandaVision, because they are intentionally throwing you for a loop. Although I do agree it's going to be action-packed. It's going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be a different take on the universe and be more action-packed and in your face every day. I do see it's going to be like a buddy cop, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just by what I saw, Baron Zemo, he has to be in there as the villain. I saw the mask. You can't tell me he's not. I don't know, because I my personal opinion, once they're trying to reboot something, like it's clearly, obviously, they're trying to redo the universe. You don't know what's going to happen. Is that me?
No, it's not.
That would be you.
It is completely not you. It's the one who makes all the problems. Me, obviously. I'm sorry. Good Lord. Nah, man. But I think you brought up Baron, and that we already know that he's going to be a villain in this as well. Oh, we see the quick snap of Cap. We see him practicing with the shield. We see them both sitting there like messing around with the shield, which is another thing that we didn't bring up about WandaVision is the many times they referenced the vibranium.
Yep.
Okay. Which we didn't really tap on.
Yes.
But for me, I think that this show is going to be, like I said, a buddy joint. It's going to be like a mix between CSI and Magnum PI, some sort of Hawaii Five-0 meets freaking meets.
I'm so tired of you disrespecting them like that, man. Just leave that. They're gonna be their own entity. They're not gonna be like any of that shit. You just heard what Derek just said. Derek Russo just said they spent the most money on any TV show ever, and you gonna sit there and compare it to a TV show that has that type of bread?
Just a bunch of random white ass network shows from the 80s.
Like, really? Come on, dude.
Like, it's gonna be like Hill Street Blues.
21 Jump Street. It's like 21. I mean, come on.
That's what it's feeling like, yo. It's feeling like a buddy. Like
New York undercover.
Law and Order MCU.
Like, you disrespectful.
Law and Order MCU.
You disrespectful.
I really did do that.
Patrice, real quick. Are you going to tune in to Falcon and Winter Soldier? I mean, are you into these characters at all? Is this your jam?
I love Falcon. I'm gonna tune in. As far as where I think it's gonna go, I don't even know. I really thought that we were gonna get like our next Captain America was gonna be Anthony Mackie.
Yeah,
but now they're setting it up with more backstory, so I'm not sure how that's gonna play out. But I'm excited to see it. It seems like from the camaraderie, it's definitely gonna take off and lead us more towards that storyline eventually.
Yeah. D. Russo, you clearly have some predictions here, bro. I mean, what could you tell us? What do you think we have to look forward to?
I can talk about WandaVision. Okay.
Oh yeah, please go ahead. What are your predictions on WandaVision too? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Get on her predictions. Just going ahead, steamrolling me. I see. Anyway, as I was saying, WandaVision. I was already kind of saying it before when you disappeared, but I think it's gonna be like there's gonna be a co-conspirator that's also creating this world that they live in. And I don't know, I really do agree with the idea that Agnes is going to have a deeper role and we're going to find out who the villain is and people just not as who they seem. So I'm excited.
Do you think that, I don't know. And D. Russo, I'll throw this over to you. In the comics, we know that there is a gray vision, right? That we end up learning about the gray vision, who doesn't look like this vision. And it looks like they're introducing us to Gray.
It's a West Coast vision.
West Coast vision. Yeah, West Coast. You know what I'm saying? This is NWA vision. I don't know if that's what we're being introduced to now, but what are your predictions on the show, D. Russo? What do you think is up next for WandaVision? What do you think we have to look forward to?
I mean, we know that it's going to tie into the next Doctor Strange movie, which they haven't started shooting yet because they're shooting Spider-Man right now. But he's in Spider-Man. Like literally, again, everything in these shows leads and ties into the next phase of the MCU. So everything is for a purpose. WandaVision's obviously focused on like the metaphysical and the multiverse and things like that. And then Falcon Winter Soldier is going to be much more action-based and spy and intrigue. Because again, Baron Zemo is the big bad that we know about. John Walker is also going to be in it. So like it seems like every show has multiple, at least these first two shows have multiple bad guys or the potential for multiple bad guys. I think it's almost guaranteed that Mephisto is the big bad in WandaVision.
Yeah.
It just makes too much sense. But like I just want to commend Marvel on what the amazing job they're doing with the writing of tying things together and bringing things together and solving the problem of Fox versus Disney and Sony.
Yeah. Like, and they've done it in a manner that's seamless. Like you almost can't even get mad when they have a X-Men version of Quicksilver and to kind of take over the role. I do still have some questions about what happened to the other guy from Kick-Ass. Like why not bring him back? Is that some Hollywood, I'm not getting paid enough, or I'm off doing something else? I mean, what is it? They shooting Kick-Ass 3? Like, what's
maybe they just haven't brought him back yet.
He's married to Wanda. And in real life, he's married to Wanda, and they have children. So it's probably like, something with like they can't both be shooting at the same time.
That's it.
Wait,
no, everything's intentional.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Everything.
So
is
if you would have seen in the group, I posted a picture, of her and him together with their kids. Right. All right. She married Quicksilver. Technically, she married her brother. Technically, all right. The original one, she married her brother, the one with the accent. All right. In real life, yeah. So that's probably why he didn't come back as himself. It's because, like with COVID going on, who the hell are you gonna have to watch your kids? They're actors.
I think more likely it was intentional to bring back the other universe version of the character to start tying them together, because they need to start tying the universes together.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just saying, she ain't leaving her kids with nobody.
So you think that there's a possibility at some point in time we may actually get these two on the screen at the same time?
I think it's a strong possibility that Pietro becomes Speed.
Oh,
there's a reason why he had on his costume.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so
that's why everything is deliberate. He just told you everything is deliberate. Like this was all they brought in the old Evan Peters to tie into the X-Men universe, and be able to now bring in more people from that universe with no problems, because we're like like we're so accepting of it. Like it's like okay, all right, we'll go with it. You know what I'm saying? And it just opens the door for now. You like I was saying earlier, we got Reed Richards. You can bring in the Fantastic Four. You can bring in the X-Men. You can bring in all of these other studios that you couldn't work with before. You now can bring to the MCU and now not have any problems. You can now funnel all of Marvel's content through the MCU.
So your prediction is that Wiccan and Speed is Wanda and Pietro, not the kids.
No. What I'm saying is that the Pietro that we know from the MCU that died could come back as a recasted as Speed, is what I'm saying. And so, like the Wanda, I don't know where the Wanda being Wiccan comes into play at all, but I'm just saying that we just don't see him now. Like it's not that he's that we're not going to see him ever again. We just don't see him at this moment. But
because he could look like her brother later on, right? That's his uncle.
Guys. Real quick before we continue, we only have one more subject, but one of our faithful Blerd members, unfortunately, is going to leave us just for the time being. Everybody else stick around, but I just wanted to say welcome to the clique. Patrice, it was great to have you on. Great to have you on even more in the future. Any closing remarks on the way out?
I would just like to say, part of the congregation here, that me and Vince are not haters of WandaVision. That we are just as beloved of the show as all the rest of you guys who love the I Love Lucy episodes, and that we need to clear our names because we are really here dropping gems for the rest of y'all. That's all I gotta say. All right. I'm excited to be back. Thanks for having me.
Nah, no problem. Thank you so much for joining us, Patrice, and we will go ahead and let you be free amongst the world. And don't forget to tune in to WandaVision every week. We're going to holler at you a little later. Everybody else, stick around real quick. It was nice of her to help us keep our balances equate. And she actually is really into this stuff as well, and it was a pleasure to have her. But I am really curious because there is one theory that folks have been throwing around that I think doesn't really make as much sense, but it could have some merit, especially given the fact that this is going to be another show that is released on Disney Plus. They're saying that
what's on my predictions, bro? You just gonna X me out the predictions just because I said?
I thought that was the prediction. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. Predictions.
I'm gonna make mine quick anyway. As far as the Falcon and Winter Soldier, my predictions is it's gonna be a beast of a show. And the timing is impeccable because right after that show airs and probably on the finale, right after that, you're going to get the Black Widow movie. So it's action going into action. It's dope. I think we're gonna see a lot of surprise guests on the show, just like we're seeing surprise guests on WandaVision. I do know for a fact that Don Cheadle will be making an appearance on Winter Soldier and Falcon. I don't know if he's gonna be in his Warhammer attire or he's just gonna appear as Rhodey. But he will be in the show. And there was a comment about Anthony Mackie, and we thought Anthony Mackie. Well, we did. That was before Chris Evans decided that he wanted to come back. So you know what I mean? So that plays into maybe why, you know, the whole story that they wrote maybe changes at some point. We don't know. But as far as Wanda goes, yeah, I see this playing into what I've been saying the whole time, is that, you know, all of the other studios are now getting the opportunity to come into the MCU, and Wanda will continue to give us those different arguments and speculations that we have each week going forward from here on out. I think so.
That makes sense. I gotta say something about something that was dropped in the private chat room. Now that we're talking about the Winter Soldier and Falcon, this is a collaboration of two Avengers that are centered around Captain America, who we all know is, of course, Chris Evans. Now, Chris Evans, in true Marvel form, just like Michael B. Jordan, has played multiple characters in the MCU. And we know one of his first one was Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four, him, Jessica Alba. So DeRusso, you dropped that it is rumored that Chris Evans could come back as Johnny Storm. We discussed this in our prior episodes as well. I hate the idea, but it's evidently going to happen more than likely.
Multiverse.
Yeah, it's the most, and what I think we'll likely end up seeing is Captain America is Chris Evans reprise his role, but not with longevity, but more as a cameo. All right, if we might see him pop up and just because I mean he's completely different. Like his body has changed. Like he's actually taken whatever serum they gave Captain America. I think they gave him in real life because he legit. This is the first guy that they actually had to use CGI to make him look scrawny instead of making him look like more beefed up. You know what I'm saying?
That was a body double.
You know, that is what it is. I can do this all day. So I'm just hoping that if they do it, that it doesn't confuse us too much. Because now, do we also get a Michael B. Jordan come back as a Johnny Storm?
We can get Terrence Howard come back as War Machine.
Well, I mean, oh my God, yo, what if Lucius came back as War Machine? Yo, get the fuck out of here.
Man, we gotta go get these guys, man. Come on, man.
Hey, gotta get that guy. Iron Man.
Are you guys confused that Thanos is also Cable?
Yeah. Yes, this is right. True. We know that that's true. I mean, it's easy to do a voiceover character and a real character at the same time.
He's live. No, he's live action as Thanos.
Well, I mean, live action CGI. I mean, he had the stuff on, but we didn't see his face. I mean, you're right.
Like how they do it is the same way they do with Ruffalo with Hulk. Is they have a body camera mounted onto his face with the dots for the computer to use it. They're using his actual face as the base. That's the reason why Hulk's face. It's the reason why Thanos' face and their expressions and their looks and everything looks so accurate because that's literally the camera mounted right here.
That makes sense.
And then because they're so much bigger, they have a pole that goes up with the head of the character way up here for the other actors' eye lines to look up like the character's 7 feet tall.
I just noticed.
And a friend of mine is Thanos' stunt double. He's like 6'8".
Jesus.
Yeah. And another friend of mine is Venom and Thanos' sidekick that's even bigger than him. What's his name?
Thanos' sidekick?
Yeah. He's his stunt double, and he's 6'10".
Jesus.
Yeah. So like
Mike Noss. Okay, never mind. Okay.
I think that DeRusso's friend is the Big Show from WWE. It's just freaking, it's freaking huge. But that's a big deal. Now, I'm loving the predictions. Everything points to the multiverse. But at the same time, nobody's really mentioned the possibility that all of this illusion that we're seeing in the multiverse isn't just something that could come from Scarlet Witch and Mephisto. Who else is it that we know that's able to castigate illusions and magic and dispersions of the spores?
Come on. What did you expect?
So obviously, the God of Mischief is amongst us, who came down from Asgard just to fuck with us. And I love the storyline here. If you haven't peeped the trailer, one of the trailers kind of gives us an indication that what Loki's storyline is about is when he is sucked into this universe, when the Tesseract drops, and all of a sudden Loki just goes away. So we get to get some background info as to what exactly transpires after they lose sight of where the hell Loki is. So I'm hoping that this is insightful, but I'm getting the sense, and maybe somebody that happens to be here for a short period of time can give us an indication of whether or not this is going to tie in to everything else, because it's clearly not even taking place in the same realm. So I get the sense that this Loki, despite the fact that I used this segue to tie in because of his ability to cast illusions, I get the sense that this is a standalone show and that it won't have much to do with everything else, with the exception possibly of a few instances where, as they always do, tie the MCU together. What say you, D. Russo? Could you give us some insight without, I know you don't want to break your NDA, but I mean, come on, man, talk to us, man.
Well, you already said what's already out there. Like the thing that people have to keep in mind is this is the 2012 version of Loki, the one that just tried to take over the world and destroy the city of New York.
Right.
Who picks up the Tesseract and disappears, and it picks up from right there, which the trailer already showed. Which I kind of like. There's very little about this show that I know except for that, and that Tom is awesome.
Oh, okay. So you met Tom.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Okay. And it's funny because the first time that we saw each other in wardrobe, like he was in one of his wardrobes and I was in mine, we were both like gushing over each other's wardrobe. He was like, "Oh my god, that looks amazing." I was like, "Oh my god, that looks amazing."
I want to hear more about that. So what did that happen? Like in the dressing area?
On set back in. Because of the pandemic, like everything got spread out and changed around. Like I started working in February and I finished in November. And that's like the longest I've been in between for the same season of a show. Like I've never spent that much time in between filming unless it was multiple episodes of something where it's like a couple years and I come back for an episode or two or whatever. So that was, just like a long breakdown like that. But yeah, we crossed paths when I was doing something. Oh yeah, I'm in there.
Oh snap!
That's
You're in
me.
This one? I didn't even know that he was in that. Yeah, I didn't even know that you was in that clip. I just put it up there like that.
Everybody saw that and they're like, "Oh shit, yeah."
Yo, hold on. Did y'all see this Russo right there? Hold on, again.
I just realized that by watching it right this fucking second.
Yo, hold up.
Oh shit.
That's me. Obviously.
Yo, I'm freaking out so hard right now, yo. It's just hard to believe, man. Y'all gotta understand, like, this is when it's so dope to see, like, people that you know that are cool that actually deserve it, not assholes.
Yes.
The only reason I'm able to talk about this is because I'm in the trailer.
Yeah, well, of course. But I didn't,
But the funny thing is, you see my helmet fall off when I hit the ground. Like we kept doing that over and over, and at one point we got zip ties under my helmet trying to keep it from falling off when I hit the ground.
Oh, for real? Why is it? Was it not supposed to fall off?
No, it wasn't supposed to fall off. It just falls off because like there's so much force with how heavy I am, and that ratchet was badass. Yeah.
Yo,
because like we did that in This is the first time I ever worked with Monique Ganderton. She's the main stunt coordinator for Marvel, which is awesome that a woman has that role. I'm hooked up to the ratchet, so I have a harness on underneath my wardrobe, and I'm attached to the machine. And at a certain point, like the machine's gonna drag me backwards. So like she looks at the person whose finger's on the button, who's controlling the ratchet, and she's like, "Don't let him touch it." She turns to me, she's like, "Get it." And I was like, "All right." So I'm like trying to get it, and then last second, like he pulls it, and I get boom.
Oh snap! So they had you hooked up to the wires and all of that.
Yeah,
Like,
The life out of you.
yo, that's freaking crazy, man. And so I mean, I hate to go back into the whole acting realm and to sit here and pick your brain about what that's like, but like, what exactly is it that they tell you when you know you're going to be on the show and that you cannot spoil? Now, you clearly being like a legit Blerd, like you're not like some guy who got a part and has no idea. You know, you're not Sam Neill, you know, in Thor. Like, yo, what the hell's going on? Like, what the I have absolutely no idea what's going on here. But yeah, I just read my lines. You know, like you actually are in the culture.
He's like, is it Asgard? Is it a long name?
You know what I'm saying?
Is it
like
Loki?
Yes, we're here for THR. Yeah, for this whore. So like, how hard is it for me? I don't. If I was in a Marvel movie and had to not tell nobody, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Kojo, like, could you imagine like being in a Marvel movie? Right?
I'm like, yo,
come on,
like, look at this shit. I told you, you're poor. I gotta go. Hi, y'all.
Yo, he always finds a way to leave his shit.
Like all these motherfuckers are turned into dryer land. Look.
Yo, could you imagine? Like, I literally would have been the one on there, like, yo, oh shit.
So much, he was getting beat down, and like he was like, I'm not even worried about it. Look what's gonna happen to me. You bitches. I'm sorry.
I would have been the guy like, yo, and this is where Thanos dies, and this is where they kill Black Panther, and hey, say what's up, Chad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard. So how do you maintain that? I mean, obviously you've done plenty of acting, so it's not like something new to you. You're familiar with how to be discreet. But when it comes to stuff like this, like, I'm literally chomping at the bit to ask you all, and I know you say you don't know everything, and I know you're using a few scenes. But what do they say to you to make you stay at bay? Do they say like, yo, look, if you leak some shit, we will not only like not pay you, but we will sue your ass. You will never work in Hollywood again. Like, how do they keep you from going completely off the rails?
I mean, they didn't have to tell me anything, but imagine being Tom Holland, like when you are Spider-Man.
Right.
And they won't give you anything because they know, and you know, you can't keep a secret. Tom Holland gets his script and doesn't even know who he's in a scene with.
That's so funny. Oh my god!
And he says, he's like, I can't keep a secret. Like, I just can't. Like, he dropped something in an interview, like on live TV with Cheadle, and he was just like, oh god.
I think that was on a late night show or something.
Yeah, so they didn't have to tell me anything. Like, it's in the NDA, and they're super secretive with the scripts. Like, I just found out like a couple days ago that it's a requirement with my union that once you're booked on something, they have to provide you for the full script. And I was like, Marvel don't give a fuck about that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was trying to like piece together what happened. Like, every time I would come in for a fitting, I had like 4 different fittings. Spread out over time. I'd be looking at the costumes and the concept art, trying to like put things together from what I read online and this and that, and the little parts of what I'm doing and everything else. And like, I have a little bit of an idea about the show, but I'm going to be just as entertained as everybody else.
That's my new show right there. I got a new show I did. Derek Russo, Marvel Detective.
I'm right there. You show me.
He's in it.
Yeah.
Yo, well, I mean, he could do that, but I mean, I don't know if that might be.
My favorite is Loki is DB Cooper. I love that.
Oh yeah, when he plays like this, just the dude with he looks like a Men in Black type.
You guys know the DB Cooper story?
I'm not playing and never got seen again.
Yeah, DB Cooper hijacked a plane, got a suitcase with $200,000, jumped out of it with a parachute, and was never found again.
Never found him. Him or the money.
Yeah. Yo, is that a part of the Loki universe?
They just showed it in the trailer.
That's the truth.
So that happened in real life?
Yeah,
they just showed it in the trailer.
Never found the money. Never found him.
I was unaware. I'm glad we get to learn that. I don't know if that's.
You said jumped out of a plane with $200,000 and you never saw him again.
Never saw him again.
It's been a long time.
That 200 grand gonna run out. We'll see him.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
like, 70s, so
200 grand is not what you run away for life with.
To a third world country or somewhere that he'd be rich, so we'll never see him again.
Wasn't it? That's like what, the 60s or 70s?
70s, yeah.
Oh yeah, 200 grand was like $1 million.
Back in the 70s, you moved to like Cambodia.
Yeah, he probably got a mansion
Thailand.
He got a mansion in Cambodia. He's paid like $4 for.
He invested in Apple stock.
They're trying to get
Castle with the moat.
Or Costa Rica. He's living on a fucking island.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. The thing that I think is dope is that they also, in addition to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, will have this standing on Loki. And I think if I know Marvel, they're probably not going to base the whole show on the cinematic universe coming together like these first two shows that we're watching. It's going to be a Loki standalone, possibly with
everything ties together.
With multiverse teases, right? As opposed to like WandaVision, which is literally like a convolution of all of the universes combined. You know what I'm saying? Like
And then Hawkeye comes after Loki.
Oh shit! God damn, yo. See,
Yeah.
for anybody, Hawkeye. Yeah, because it's got to, because Black Widow's coming out. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to see RDJ again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're probably going to be introduced to one of the series I'm waiting the most for, which we're not going to get into this week because we're running out of time. Is Ironheart. Like y'all are sleeping on Ironheart. I think Ironheart is going to take off so hard. I don't think that the world, if you thought that they was loving Miles Morales, then wait till they get a load of Riri Williams.
I don't know.
Come on, man. Miles, we love Miles, and we're gonna have a whole show dedicated to who they should cast as Miles Morales. But Riri Williams, come on, man. She's gonna be Iron Man. Like she's literally going to. Come on.
I think we already talked about this when you brought it up. Then, listen, there's only one Iron Man, and we all know who that Iron Man is. And as much as I want to jump on the bandwagon with you and be like, oh yeah, no, yo, listen. I said from the door, and I want to be clear to make sure I keep saying this because I said this from the door. And you heard me when I said it. I said I think Loki will be the best series that they put out. I said that before anything. I said I thought Loki will be the best series that the MCU puts out, and it's all because of Tom. I just think
Tom is phenomenal.
I said that. Yeah, I think he's phenomenal. He is. He is.
Kate Herron, the director, is phenomenal, and Michael Waldron, the writer, is phenomenal. Like Michael Waldron's already writing future MCU. Like he's writing the Doctor Strange movie.
Yo, do you know, Russo, if whether or not the writers have to collaborate to make sure that their stories are in sync? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there like a meeting where they're like, okay, well, what do you have on your canon? You know, like what's going on with your story? Okay, well, here's a good place for us to drop this in and stuff like that. Like, is that a thing that happens amongst the writers?
Well, like I know when I first got hired on, I was already friends with the second AD on the show because I worked on something with her before. And when I came down for my first fitting, she's like, hey, come on over to the office, which is a different part of Pinewood. I'll introduce you to Kate and everybody. I was like, okay. So I finished up my fitting. I went and I saw hair and like figured out what we were going to do in terms of hair and beard. And I went over and she's like, oh, don't come over here. She's locked in a room with the writers and Feige. So she's not going to be available. I was like, I'm still going to come say hi to you. So like literally the director and the writers were locked in a room with Kevin Feige working on it and Tom. Yeah. And then like the door opens and they all come walking out and this woman comes out in the hallway. She goes, oh my God, I know you. And I was like, she's like, you don't know me, but I know you. And the way she said it, I was like, uh-oh. And she goes, no, I'm Kevin Feige's assistant. We watched your audition. It was really great. And I was like,
oh, wow.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Kevin, so you're like a stone's throw away from Kevin Feige knowing your name.
I mean, by now he's forgotten, I'm sure, but yeah.
Nah, but I mean, if his assistant like says he loved your interview.
Yeah, her telling me that he watched my audition was like, wow.
Yeah, wow. That's awesome.
That's huge. I mean, they didn't just say they watched it. You said they said that they loved it.
Yeah.
Bruh, so Ty, I gotta veto one of the proposals you launched earlier with D. Russo playing a detective. I think he needs to play like Baby Thanos. Or maybe like, Galactus Jr. I don't know, man. Like he we want to take full advantage of, and he can play multiple. Like his voice, he can
Listen. After he does the Loki movie, every director in Hollywood is gonna be looking for Derek Russo to be in a movie because Loki is gonna blow everybody away, man. I'm telling you right now.
Well, Loki. Well, hold on. Loki is a show, right?
I mean, not Loki. I'm sitting here talking about Loki. Lobo.
Oh, okay.
Loki phase. I'm like,
Wolverine too with that facial hair. Just saying.
Yeah.
But Wolverine. No. I'm gonna get to that. Wolverine, they're gonna look for somebody who's probably in his 20s because Wolverine is age and they want to use him for a long time. But check this out. So there's this dude that follows me on Twitter, which when we get to the end of the show, we start plugging. I'm more active on Twitter than anything else. And his name is ATL Blerd. And he literally tweeted a picture at me. He's like, hey, you should be Hercules. And I was like, yo, we're fucking twins. He exists in Thor's universe. It's a contentious, like kind of funny, like he fucks with Thor. He's funny. He's as strong as Thor. I was like,
wow.
Yeah, we were just talking about who should play the next like, you know, Hercules. It was like really funny in our group. That's hilarious.
Right, we sure as hell were because we was throwing out that dude that plays Thor, Hemsworth, and Tom Hiddleston could be like the Hercules and that from the Disney.
Funny thing about Tom is he initially auditioned to play Thor. Like he put on 20 pounds of muscle because I talked to him about it. He put on 20 pounds of muscle to play Thor. And they're like, no, you want him to play Loki. He's like, then I stripped it right back off. And like, that's the discipline. And I'm like, that's what you do.
Wow.
Because Loki was his big grit. Prior to Loki, Tom wasn't well known at all.
Nah, I don't. I mean, Loki was like tailor made for him. Like I couldn't see
so good.
And you know, and that's what Marvel does so well is they don't do the Michael Keaton, George Clooney. You know,
they don't put nipples on armor.
Right.
Nipples.
It's like why are we protecting your nipple in the first place? Like, and you know, so they pick folks and they stick with them as best they can. All right, with a few exceptions. All right, Terrence Howard with a few exceptions. Tobey Maguire, but we do know.
Well, no, Tobey Maguire finished his contract.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield finished his contract. What happened with Rhodey is he asked for more money than they were willing to give him.
He wanted more money than Iron Man.
Nah, he wanted the same amount.
Right.
He wanted the same amount. He wasn't going to take less than Tony.
And they were like, they hit him back with that Lethal Weapon 4. They're like, but you're black. And then Cheadle came in. Cheadle did a great job.
Yeah, he did.
Norton. The only reason Norton didn't continue being Hulk for the Avengers is because he had a scheduling conflict.
Oh, for real?
And then Ruffalo came aboard, and Ruffalo is just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? But you know that he actually auditioned. Ruffalo auditioned for the part of Hulk before Norton. But they took Norton because Norton was a bigger name.
Yeah.
And that was the right thing to do, but it ultimately didn't pan out to be the best in terms of continuity. But it happened. You know, we can't look back. Honestly, I mean, we could do.
They've only recast one role. Like everything starts with Iron Man. In terms of this, Iron Man starts the MCU, and since that time, they've recast one role, which is like when you're juggling schedules. I've been involved in producing. The only thing I've really been involved in producing was the Lobo short, and even that I saw like the scheduling issues. I was like, I don't want to have anything to do with this. This is too fucking hard, and this is with like nobodies. I can't even imagine with A-list actors all those schedules you have to juggle. Like,
yeah, well, I don't know, man, but I'm happy that you are in that process. I got a feeling that you're not only going to be like a lead actor in these movies coming up, but you're also going to have a lot to do in the back rooms as it pertains to how they're going to develop some of these stories. So big up to you, man, and everything that you've done. We're about to go ahead and start wrapping up. I mean, we're officially like for a 90-minute show. We sure don't show it. We're like going on 3 hours. But we had to talk to Russo, man. Russo is like the king. Like right now, we all got to big him up. Before we let anybody go, we want to do what we do on a weekly basis and just kind of start getting the recommendations. This week, We've got Ty with his recommendation for us as for what it is that we should go with, that we should be watching, or that you've watched that you think may be worth speaking to the folks about. Ty, what you got for us this week in terms of recommendations, my man?
Judah and the Black Messiah.
Okay.
Yo, I saw it yesterday. Powerful. It just came out, so I want to kind of, I don't want to spoil it because I mean it literally came out yesterday. But
I mean, if you know the story, Fred Hampton,
I will give it 2 thumbs up, and I will recommend it to everyone, not just Black people, but everyone. You know what I'm saying? Because it is very interesting to have theories and then your theories be totally wrong based on facts. Now, people love to argue, but please, people, don't argue the facts of the movie. The facts are what they are. It is what it is. Just understand that this is how some people thought back then, and this is a conclusion to you know, somebody's short-lived life. So go ahead, check it out.
Well, real quick, let's go ahead and drop a real quick teaser just for the sake of making sure folks know we talking. Ties right into our Black History Month theme.
Goosebumps. Look at this.
Oh, for real? Look at that. Okay, man. My man, look at Lobo getting goosebumps. I didn't get a chance, Ty. You told me about it yesterday. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. I fell asleep last night. But it clearly looks like a good depiction. What I already like about it is the fact that they didn't call it the Fred Hampton story. They call it Judas and the Black Messiah, which puts Fred Hampton a messianic figure, which goes to the power of the Black Panthers back in that day. Speaking of Black Panthers, so I will definitely check it out, man. I don't know. Say it again.
Why do you think he was murdered?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean,
because listen, that's why you got to watch that movie, because that movie will tell you exactly why he was murdered and why people were so scared of him. So that is the movie was. Daniel, the guy who played Fred Hampton, I think his last name Kaluuya. Yo, he's definitely gonna get nominated for something. Lakeith Stanfield, I don't know what, but he'll get nominated and probably win it. Lakeith Stanfield was super dope in that movie. You know. Man, because I don't want to talk too much because I'm gonna start spilling the beans. Bro.
They're not calling him the Black Messiah by accident. Like if you know the story of Fred Hampton, you know why. Mm-hmm. Like Fred Hampton was arguably the most dangerous, the biggest threat to white supremacy of all the activists of that era. More so than Dr. King, more so than Malcolm X. Like he was a threat, and the reason he was a threat is because he was bringing white people along.
I can't watch it. I can't watch it.
You can't watch it, Kojo?
No.
Why you can't watch it, Kojo?
My mother was a Black Panther. She would tell me stories. A lot of poison. I can't say, a lot of things she would tell me while we're living in white neighborhoods was conflicting, but it saturated, got into my system. So she would tell me, watch out for this, watch out for that. But then my best friend was this guy, you know, that was white. The first crush was a girl named Jennifer Strauss. So I'm constantly conflicted. That's why I don't get on. I admire D. Russo for what he does and has strength he can do, but I can't go down that same road because I get triggered, and that training kicks in. And I'm telling you, man, my head is like I'm charming. I can make you laugh, but at the same time, I can kind of drag you into a story. I can make you, follow me, and I don't want to get to that point where like, yo, I can't. I will get triggered really, really, really bad, and it's going to be over. See, I'm stuttering now because I can feel it. I can almost like
I have so much compassion and empathy.
I like the world that I live in, where everybody's my friend, my black, white, Asian. I have that, but the way she put this stuff in my head, man, it'll make you mad. It'll make you.
Yeah.
I have so much I have so much compassion and empathy for what Kojo's talking about when he's going through in this moment.
Right.
And like I'm literally looking at a physical embodiment of why I am the way I am.
My God.
I will be who I am and I will speak the way that I do so that he doesn't have to. And this is even more infuriating because when it's spoken from my mouth, the people who need to hear it and need to understand and listen to it are more likely to do so because it comes from this mouth rather than his, which is fucking infuriating. But literally, if I can speak out and have a little bit of effect so that Kojo doesn't have to for the same goals, like I'm literally looking at one of the reasons why.
Yeah, man. Kojo, bro. Hey, we feel you, man.
Shit, like Trump shit. I see shit that it.
Nah, man. Nah, yo. Hey, yo, look, man. You know, hey, bro, this is a safe space. You know what I'm saying, Kojo? So, yo, the same stuff you feel, we feel too. Like that was the whole purpose of this whole broadcast, man. And we thank you for being along with us, man, so that you can talk about these issues that you have to kind of keep concealed, you know, and they're buried deep within you. You know what I'm saying? And who do you talk to about that? You know what I mean? Like who is it that gets to receive that aspect of you that is so difficult to translate?
I'm not right, man. Especially in this industry, I gotta play it real cool, man. I want to be on TV. I want to be seen. So a lot of stuff I want to say, I can't.
That's bullshit.
He's really quiet. Really quiet. He doesn't say anything. You know, people have problems like Dave Chappelle. He can talk now, but he's way up there. He's almost to that. No one knows me. I'm fighting to get on a cable channel comedy show that I haven't even heard back from yet. I'm trying to play it as quiet as fucking possible. Although I was with my mother in my head saying, you know, they did this to us. Why aren't you doing that? I can hear my dead mother's voice in my head screaming, why aren't you doing something? I trained you to do this. I taught you how to do this. Why aren't you doing something?
Well, I want to say this. I just want to say this for everybody out there. You know what I mean? Like this movie is a movie that again sheds light on a time period when, you know, people like Kojo,
right?
Even now, feel like their voice was being suppressed. And they got to a point where they no longer were going to allow their voices to be suppressed. And amidst all of the obstacles in front of them, they still persevered in that moment when all else seemed like hope was lost. And I think watching a movie like this in this state that we're in as a country is an eye opener for everyone, not just, like I said, not just black people. You know what I mean? It does show what we can accomplish when we unite. It does show that. It does show that communities, you know, taking care of each other can thrive. It does show these things. So it's not just a movie that I want people to just look at and just see all the negative parts of it. Because there are positive aspects to this movie, and if you just go check it out, I'll formulate whatever you want to formulate, but facts are facts, and you can't argue the facts.
I just want to shout out Kojo right quick, man, because I mean, I feel exactly what he's going through. I not exactly. Let me not say that. I empathize with you, man. I hope you can still hear me, man. And I'm hugging you through the mic, through the screen. Bruh, it's so hard to wrestle with yourself about who you should be versus who you are, right? And that's what kind of this internal struggle is that we deal with. Do I be what I'm being told to be? Do I be what fits in with everybody else? Or do I be who the fuck I actually am? And so, Kojo, if you can hear me, man, yo, you are not your mom, bro. All right? You are not anybody but who the fuck you actually are. And that's all you have to be. You are enough. Okay, bro, you already enough. You're great. You're freaking dope as shit. I mean, you was late as shit last week, but it's all good. We got past it. You know what I'm saying? All right, just trying to cheer him up a little bit. But yeah, man. But don't take it too hard, man, because you are not. You cannot carry the water for anybody other than your own damn self. And that's exactly why we have this broadcast and have our group, so that we can bring out that self of ours that we feel is unworthy of exposing to everybody else. You know, like I feel Kojo like bad as fuck. Like my God, you know what I mean? Like I'm touched right now. You know what I'm saying?
The mind fuck of knowing like what you want to do when you have the platform to do it, and knowing that you have to restrain that until you reach that platform. And the longer that you repress that in pursuit of that, the worse it feels, the more guilt you feel, the more shame you feel of, because I can barely imagine the amount of shit that Kojo has to swallow living where he lives and doing what he does. Like I have so much respect and empathy and compassion for that. Like I said, like
you know how many
times harder because I know he can't right now, and I look forward to the day that.
Come on, man, come on.
Times, my training comes from doing white rooms. You know how many times I had to fucking Sambo?
Damn. Yo.
Call me nigga on fucking stage, and I'm thinking I'm the son of a fucking Black Panther. I know what to fucking do to you. I've heard her stories that she's, and I'm sitting there.
Yo, this dude, yo. All right. Oh fuck, bro, you having an impact on me like fuck right now, man. And but this shit needs to be told, because you know what? You know, as much as you feeling that, you need to talk about that shit, Kojo. You know, I
can't. I'm praying right now this video doesn't get out, because they're gonna say, "Oh, Kojo, you're more this than that. You could be a danger. You could be threatening. You could be that kind of nigger that jumps up and starts saying shit."
Yeah, goddamn it, that's what we need.
But Kojo, you gotta. Kojo,
my mother was on fucking TV. My fucking mother was on TV on NBC performing for the Queen of England. I want to get to that, but I gotta be quiet because I'm trying to chase her legacy. This is a fucking family business to us. We've been doing this for 5 fucking generations. I'm fucking failing because I gotta play it safe and can't get to that level because I gotta be quiet. So now I'm like, what do I want to do? Do I want to be my mother's son, or want to be the Kojo on TV? So who the fuck do I want to be now? And I'm
Kojo, you have to remember. You gotta remember, when we were kids, we were taught to be ourselves. We were taught to be our authentic, our true selves. We are children. As adults, that whole saying gets thrown out of the water and literally thrown in the trash. And we have to put on a charade about who people want us to be and how they perceive us, so that we can get to the places that we need to get to. Yes, it is fucked up, but that is the society that we have grown to live into. That is not something that you should feel bad for. That is something that as a whole, as a world, that we need to strive to be better at, because we lose that sense of it's okay to be who you are, to be your authentic self. We lose that. And children today still get to be children and live that dream. But as soon as they become of age, it gets ripped out from under them. And they get to realize what kind of world and society that we live in, that you have to put on a charade to do your job. So don't feel bad for that, Kojo. Okay, it's if anything, you should embrace and feel better that the fact that you have been taught things that most of us didn't get the opportunity to be taught. You see things in a different light. So that's an empowerment that you have that other people don't have. So don't take that as a weakness, and don't take that as you're not living up to what your mother's standards that she's tried to instill into you, because she's still proud of the man that you are. You're not where you need to be at. Remember, it's not how you start things, it's how you're finished. You're not fucking done yet, dog. You're not fucking done. Okay?
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna talk to you Jersey to Jersey, man. I don't know about all of this, but I'm gonna talk to you straight Jersey to Jersey, man. Stop that shit, man. Stop that fucking shit. I'm not gonna sit here and coddle you, my nigga. I'm gonna do you like your mama would have done. Fuck that little bullshit. Fuck that little bitch ass shit. Nigga, you do what you want to do when you want to do it. That's how you live in this world, and that's how people either accept it or they don't. Now, one thing about it is you don't got to go out there disrespecting nobody. But you can have your opinion because that's the world, that's the country we live in. Your opinion is your opinion. You just got to learn how to word whatever you got to say. But I don't want to hear no more about this. I can't. You better stop it. I'm gonna do it like that because all this coddling shit. This is why we as a country have become soft as fuck, and I'm tired of this shit. We coddle our children. We coddle the adults. We coddle our men. Come on,
conservatives.
Now, one thing is you not just a man. You a black man, which means you gotta be a little bit tougher skin than a regular person.
Yeah, I heard that shit too.
Yeah, so all this little, oh, you got no, fuck that. Stop coddling that nigga. We gonna be real on this stage like we always are. And so listen, if you got an opinion, my brother, voice your opinion. If you want to talk about Black Panthers and the stuff that your mother taught you, talk about it. You ain't nobody in Hollywood, and if they are, then guess what? You didn't need to be on their set anyway, nigga. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Be you. Be Kojo. Be the person your mother raised you to be. But don't be no bitch ass nigga on this stage. We ain't have it. We ain't have it. And that's it. And all that's with love. All that's with love, my brother.
That's the end. Got to top it off with the cherry.
Do you really want to headline Bonkers in Crystal River? Like the most racist room possible?
Yeah.
They already got me there, man.
No, but Kojo, you should really just listen to what we're saying because just think about it. All right, Joy Coy. How the fuck did he get rich and famous? By cracking on the jokes that his mom used to fucking make him go to school with fucking Tupperware that was with Manwich, with cookies. You know what I'm saying? Be your authentic self because that is who people want to see. That is who people pay to go see. Your authentic fucking self. Okay?
Man, this show's supposed to be, I feel free here. I wouldn't normally do that crazy shit. I apologize. I'll come back to in a minute. Give me a second. I'm gonna get my shit together.
Kojo. That's your authentic self.
Listen, I was about to say, bro, if you didn't do that and you was trying to act, then this ain't a safe space. You put us in the same goddamn box as you putting everybody else. But nah, fuck that, bro. This is where you get to be who the fuck you authentically are. No bullshit.
I really thank y'all from the hard shit to the soft shit to the fuck that, get your shit together, to the college. I appreciate all of it. That's how I feel. Every single life, I appreciate it. I appreciate Russo. Thank you. Sorry, I fucked up the show, everybody. I apologize.
Hey, when you go back to Crystal River, have them fly me in, and I'll be your Terry Tate, but just on stage. And the second somebody says something, some motherfucking audience says some shit, I fucking powerbomb them through the table and let somebody else say some shit.
And bye Lobo potential.
First person with a Confederate flag or a MAGA hat.
Oh my god!
I think if we all as human beings had a Derek Russo, just to push a button, whenever. You know what I'm saying? You said something and somebody just you could just power bomb the shit out of everybody. Yo, we wouldn't be scared to say shit.
Racism enforcement squad.
Yeah, we say everything we want to say.
I don't know if we can let that. I mean, after all, he did get body slammed by Bradley Cooper, so I don't know if he's really as tough.
We know he fell to the ground and Bradley was just holding him. So
we know that
for real though. He missed a bunch. So Clint shoots really fast. It usually just does 1 or 2 takes. There's no rehearsal. He doesn't even call action or cut. You just whenever you're ready, you just go. Except for the stunt. The stunt we did 35 times. Over and over to the ground, over and over, over and over. And when we rehearsed it, I told Bradley over and over, I was like, okay, I'm gonna look at you, and then my hand's coming. It's gonna be right here every time. Look, hand, look, and he would miss my hand, he would miss it, he would grab my over here. I would just go with it. And then what's even funnier is after that is Michael Pena comes running up to support him. And he even asked me, he's like, hey, how do I like kneel on your back, but not like really like kneel on your back? I was like, dude, just kneel on my back.
Yo, wait a minute. Michael Pena was in that movie too?
Yeah, Michael Pena is his partner in that movie.
Yeah,
and it was awesome. Like, listen to Michael Pena like talk about making Infinity War. He's like, yeah, I'm standing there for like 30 minutes waiting to deliver one line. And I'm like, for real, yeah.
He's talking about, Michael Pena. I think that he's going to be one of those characters like Darcy that pops up in one of these episodes of one of these shows.
He's so good in his character on Ant-Man. Like, he's so good, like with the explanations and shit. Like,
you gotta love it.
He could have tied together the two phases of the MCU with like one long monologue.
Right?
They could. They literally could. Well, yo, man, this is literally officially a Guinness Book World Records show. We've gone past the 90-minute, past the 120-minute. We're now approaching like 3 hours.
Part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, this is
the Infinity War of the New Blerd Order.
But I mean,
this is the first 5-6 episodes of WandaVision.
We're gonna have to binge this one right here. You know what I'm saying?
No, this is the first half to the Harry Potter, the last 2 episode series. This is the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Yas done moved all the way to the sofa from the original studio. Like, she done relocated, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've been on there for quite some time. But we definitely want to make sure we give shout outs. All right, so what was that?
Enjoyable. I was like, it was
definitely enjoyable. Definitely enjoyable. So now listen, guys, I don't know what y'all are doing, but we typically have a little bit of after banter. So if you want to hang out, but we're going to go ahead and at least close the show so we can, for the folks who've been watching. Thanks for everybody. Real quick, I also want to real quick, if I may, before we D Russo, I want to make sure you get your shout outs and Kojo get your shout outs. We get a lot of replays. But I did want to also shout out. It's funny that Kojo brought up. Oh, I hate this camera, man, but it's the only one that will work. And Kojo brought up the fact that he loves being here, or that it's good that he's here because he gets to be himself. And we also had somebody gave us a comment earlier this week that just wanted to shout out how dope our group was because we get to be our weird selves. So real quick, shout out to Daniel Biddle. I mean, I know you didn't expect you. We plan on having you on here if you don't mind being on here at a certain point.
That is a headshot. I'm not past that dude. Yeah.
I mean, it's not as good as yours, D Russo. We're still trying. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry. I don't like the way Russo looks when I put that up. He gets real angry. He gets that furrowed brow. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I just wanted to bring this back up, man, because this is exactly why we have this platform. Because of folks like myself, Kojo, Tylene, Yas, D Russo, who have embodied. Like, I don't know when the last time, Russo, you had a full-fledged conversation with nothing but people of color about what the hell is going on in the MCU. You know what I'm saying?
Until you got to the last part, I was like, all the time. Oh, was it? Oh, yeah. No.
I mean, of course, I know you hang out with. I mean, I don't want to sit here and go off on the fact that you got an FSU hat on right now. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know when you traded to Garnet and Gold. I thought you was.
I'll tell you exactly why. When I moved to Florida, when I was a kid from New York, like in New York, college football wasn't a thing. Like in the 80s, like nobody cared. Like kind of liked USC because Greek mythology became Roman mythology, and I kind of like Notre Dame because they were Catholic and I'm Italian, so like my whole family, basically besides me, is Catholic. But beyond that, I didn't give a shit about college football. Then I moved to Florida. I was like, oh shit, wow, I got to pick a team. So like, I looked around. This is 1989. So I looked around. I was like, well, who do I get? And it was like, for whatever reason, it didn't even occur to me that I could like the Gators. It never even entered my mind. It was Florida State or Miami. That was it. Right. Florida State or Miami. And like every single Miami fan that I met, almost to this day, was a fucking jerk off. Like every single one of them, fucking flat out, like full blown jerk off. Fuck those people. And like Florida State had fucking Renegade and the Chop and fucking Marvin Jones and like the band, the war chant, the uniforms. And I was like, that was it from day one. Like never wavered. That was why.
Odd enough, I fell into that same trap when I moved down here from St. Louis. I didn't have. I mean, we were Tigers fans. We like Mizzou.
Yeah.
But I fell down here and then didn't realize that there was this whole college football culture, and I also became a Florida State fan. But then I went to Florida A&M and woke up. So I'm still trying to figure out, but it's all good. We'll save that for another episode. But yeah, man, thanks, Daniel, for throwing that up there. That was a dope thing to just recognize the fact that you could be your weird, authentic self. And that's who we are, man. We are our weird, authentic selves while we're here. So continue to be that. Continue to do your thing. Real quick before we release everybody to the wild, let's do some shout outs. If you don't mind, we'll let our two guests go first. Mr. Kojo Prince, now that you've had your aha moment, any shout outs, my friend, on the way out? Anywhere where do we find you? Where do we follow you? Where do we see you?
I'll be in Jackie Knight's room. No, I'll be in Jackie Knight's room April 17th. I will be somewhere in Florida April 16th. I gotta put it on my website. Just be on the lookout. And I promise to go back to being a happy, little silly, crazy, jump around Kojo. Without
you better not, goddammit. You better be your authentic self. We literally just went over that. Like, you know, what the fuck? We literally
on stage with one black glove.
Yo, but Kojo, aren't you doing the Afrotainment joint too? Did you get that?
I got no callback. So, in this industry, you don't count it until it's happened. Exactly. I didn't get a callback, so I don't know. Everybody's like, "Yeah, you're good.
D. Russo. Yo, man, where can we find you, man? We want to follow you. We want to support you, bro. Talk to us, man. Where
I'm going to be on the Afrotainment thing that's coming up.
Oh, sorry.
Damn.
Well,
he's cold-blooded.
There was like this year we want one Italian.
Yeah, it's gonna be on it like this week.
What's going on, man? Where you at, Will?
I'm most active on Twitter and then Instagram in that order. So at DRusso97 for everything. That's my Twitter, it's my Instagram, it's my YouTube, etc. I'm very, very outspoken on Twitter, and I'm on there the most. Instagram is a little bit different just because it's like just pictures, and people are like, "Oh, I prefer Instagram." I kind of judge, like the same way I judge somebody that would rather like watch the movie than read the book, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, so make sure y'all follow D. Russo, or as I like to call him, Lobo. Hallelujah. We're gonna go ahead and speak it into existence because it is what it is, my friend. That's who you are. I don't know if that's what you knew or not when you woke up this morning, but that's what you're going to sleep as.
I'm fine.
The Lobo for DC at the very least. I mean, you've already done everything else. And thank you. One thing I love about D. Russo before we wrap on Russo is that despite how he admits how he may look, he recognizes, even though he's not white, so to say, you know, he's
that white,
off white.
He's
white presenting.
White.
White presenting is the phrase.
Yeah, he recognizes, despite his ethnicity, that he has a little more privilege, and he uses
a little
for. I didn't want to. I was trying to, be nice.
If you took Legos of privilege, I'm stacked to the fucking ceiling.
All right,
my skin color is a privilege. My gender is a privilege. My sexual preference is a privilege. My height is a privilege. The bone structure of my face is a privilege. My capacity for intellect is a privilege. Like the fact that I'm able-bodied is a privilege. Like I'm privileged, a little privileged. I'm a lot. Like the only privilege I don't have is wealth.
Lego bricks to the ceiling.
To the fucking ceiling.
Privilege. He puts.
And my goal is to use that stack of Lego bricks to knock down the entire fucking system that created it.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? He went to the. At first, he started going off. I was like, I'm sorry that I didn't.
I'm sorry.
Recognize you as privilege. But it's
right. I've been pulled over in my life probably close to 100 times, and not one of those times that I was pulled over by police did I think it was because of the color of my skin or did I fear my life was in danger, even when they approached my vehicle with their weapon out.
Wow. Yo, that's deep. But the thing that I love about Russo, as I sit here and lag to death, good Lord, I can't believe this is still happening. Oh my God. But anyway, the thing I love about Russo is he recognizes it, and he doesn't complain about us talking about it. He uses it to bring other voices up to speed up to where he is. So, I mean, this is a weird way to kind of tie these things together, but Kojo, I know that you're not in the same position as D. Russo, but D. Russo has not stopped talking about the necessity to be aware of the plight of the black man. He has not stopped talking about. Yes, he said Lego, Mati. Your mom.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. She's going off right now.
Her language.
I knew.
She's going off right now. Hold up. Just because we're talking about my mom, she's salty as fuck. You didn't add her as a friend. I'm just saying. She said that Ty added her as a friend immediately. You were slacking hardcore. By the way, I've gotten 2 texts this morning stating it. Alone.
I'm maxed out. All right, so I'll delete my mom and I'll add your.
I was about to say. I know I accepted the friend request. I was like,
oh my God. He said, I'm maxed out. I'll delete my mom and add your mom.
That's what's up. Mati, we love you to death. Mati, you already know what it is. We ain't got to sit here and go through all that. You already know. And Mati in the comments she's a Lego fanatic. So when you said Legos, her spider sense went off, and she had to come in here and make sure we all.
She got all excited, start building something.
She probably just built that tower he was speaking about.
I didn't even realize that there was a comment section.
Yeah, that's what that is, man.
I didn't realize there was a comment section. I didn't know we were broadcasting this live.
Yeah,
it's live, bro. I'm gonna chop it up.
What am I doing?
Yeah, I chop it up afterwards, and then I post like the clips, saying like the highlights and all of that, and I take out the parts where I'm lagging. So we're pretty much out the whole show. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, man, and thank you, Lisa, for the compliment. Lisa, an avid follower who's been on every single broadcast that we've seen, and definitely appreciate you all for that.
I dare you to pronounce Lisa's last name.
Trozinski, I believe it is. I believe it's a first cousin of Soda Popimski from Mike Tyson Punch Out, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Any words on the way out, Mama? Any words?
Just stay your authentic selves, man. Don't let that shit die out when you're an adult. Fuck the system. Be who you are.
You goddamn right. Hell yes. Tell her, Ty, what's going on, man? The Ty Briks, the monster.
Yo, yeah, just kind of beat me to it. I was going to say the same thing. Listen to whoever needs to hear this. It's important that you understand that you don't need fans. Be your own fan. Like be your number one fan. If you are your number one fan, then guess what? You always win. You always win. If you over here worrying about the people's opinions, then guess what? You always lose. It's always gonna happen that way. So I'm saying this to whoever needs to hear this. Be your number one fan.
Damn, how'd you steal my shit and then like make it better? I'm kind of salty.
He rebooted it.
It just happened and he rebooted my ass. I feel like
reboot shit.
Yeah, it's that was pretty dope. All right, well, and before we go, real quick, Russo, Yaz's mom wants you to know that she's working on your your wall right now. She needs to know how tall you are, so that she can get it completely.
6'3".
6'3". God, hey, listen, Mom.
Ladder.
You better splurge for that economy pack, all right? Everything gonna be awesome after this. Let me go ahead and say my little words. Don't go too far, guys. We can have some after banter talk. But I want to speak directly to the folks and echo what Ty said. If you're not yourself, who are you? All right? If you're not being yourself, who are you? You're being somebody else, which is fake. Be your authentic self in all forms of it. Don't matter. Be you, and they will adjust. And like I always say, man, let that geek flag fly.
Fighter 2, I just really hate Zangief from the Ken and Ra. You, I find it hard to be Blanca, keep a wee ninja hanging and the uncle album banging. If you negative in energy, then stay out the vicinity. Yeah, the niggas over there. Yeah, now look at